Everyone, welcome to today's stream. I've got Drew with me here, and we got a little bit of special stuff going on today.
That's right. We got a big old set of stuff going on. We're gonna do some coverage of Severed Chains, recap, as well as new stuff upcoming. And after Corey's done doing that, I will then be swapped in on the main feed to showcase some general fandom stuff.
Yeah, so this has been a pretty big week for us. I'm sure everyone here is aware of this by now, but we got featured on PC Gamer, and that's not something that I ever thought I would be saying. I don't know about you, Drew.
Same. No, I always wanted us to have a lucky news break, not just with smaller news outlets, but like a big one. And PC Gamer definitely qualifies. There's so many fans out there. Like I knew there was tens of thousands at least, maybe 100,000, but there might even be more than that. And we've grown on Discord and all these things, but it still feels like it's just a fraction of how many LOD fans are still out there. So having this big news exposure can help more people find us, so we can all be together in our unified home and all of our resources and all of the cool stuff happening, especially Severed Chains.
We got an entire ass article written about us.
Yeah. Would you read it for us? Read it aloud?
It's pretty long, but I mean, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, okay, so I don't want to read the whole thing because it is quite long. I will link it in the chat in case there is anyone who hasn't read the whole thing yet. And I would like to highlight one thing here. They said that we have a beautiful ass, so that's nice.
It's one of the best compliments I ever received.
Right? All right. So yeah, we're gonna get started with what we've got planned here today. If I can get my browser to cooperate with me. So yes, we have a lot of new faces here, amongst the usuals. I see a lot of the usual crowd in the chat, but we definitely got some new people here. Hey Will, don't recognize you. Staturos, is that a Golden Sun reference? Yeah, we got a few people saying that the PC Gamer article is what brought them here. PC
Very
Gamer
cool.
article made me aware of the project. Great work you are all doing. This article also brought my attention to it too, and I couldn't be happier. Yeah, we are super happy that we've got so many new people here. Hey Tyler, hey Hockey Tree. Hey Scream Twice. Good to see all these new faces.
Oh, that wasn't a command, sorry.
It could have been. You never know. So yeah, let's get started here. Nice, it is a Golden Sun reference. So actually, speaking of Golden Sun, once Severed Chains is done, I actually plan to... Golden Sun is high up on my list of potential things to reverse engineer, so we may see that in the coming years. So we're going to start out here tonight with a brief description of what Severed Chains actually is, because we've had that asked quite a few times from new people. So Severed Chains is a reverse engineering project at its core. It started out December of, what was it, Drew? 2020?
December 2020.
Right. So I barged through the doors of Drew's Discord server, and I said, I am going to reverse engineer this game. Drew and the other modders there said, no, you're not. Little did they know. Yes, I am.
We didn't know. We were so used to reversing projects not being as common, emulation is popular for a reason. You code one program to run almost all the games on the console usually. Like the Game Boy Advance emulator runs all the Game Boy Advance games. With reverse engineering, you have to do it per game pretty much. So we were like, but we said, hey, if you really do that, we look forward to seeing it. And I didn't think anything of it because I wasn't used to it yet. I hadn't even known much about existing reversing projects at the time around 2020. And then less than 2 years later, Monoxide shows up again and is like, hey, remember that thing I said I was gonna do? I done it.
Yeah, to put what Drew is saying into perspective, at that time, the only reverse engineering projects that had really gotten anywhere were Ocarina of Time. There was Redriver as well, which was a driver port to the PC. And I think the Super Mario 64 port may have been in progress. I'm not sure if they were still working on reverse engineering it at that point, or if they had actually started with porting it. But yeah, at that time things were pretty lean. At this point, that has changed a little bit. There's still not a whole lot of reverse engineering projects out there, but there are a few more. So long story short, I took the original game, reverse engineered it. So basically, I disassembled it into assembly, and then I took that assembly and translated it all into Java, which is what you're seeing here. So when I first did this, I had sort of a partial emulator written. Now, the game itself was running natively on the PC, but I had a hardware emulation layer that allowed the game to talk to the PC as if it was still talking to a PS1. So we were emulating things like the graphics card, not card, but the GPU, the sound processor, the CD-ROM drive, joypads, and everything. And over the years, we have eventually optimized the need for all of that away. We now no longer have, as of probably 3 months ago, we no longer have any remnants of that emulation layer left. And that's a very, very big thing, because it allows us to do lots of crazy stuff, like rewrite the entire rendering engine to use OpenGL. And that's one of the big things we're going to be showing off here, and what brought a lot of people to this stream. So we're going to be showing off the game in full high definition, 60 frames per second for a lot of the game. We haven't done battle yet, but that is going to be coming in a future update, because it's a huge amount of work just on its own. It's like a full release cycle. But yeah, let's get started here. I'm going to pause the music. By the way, you may have noticed we have some Legend of Dragoon music playing in the background. This is part of a full soundtrack remaster that Lloyd Sorrow, who is here in the chat, has been working on. Very, very nice. We'll be talking about that a little later on as well. But yeah, let's get into this. Get it started. So this is Severed Chains. This is the version that we are working on. So this is a work in progress. This is not the currently released build. This is like up to the minute release. Gonna skip the intro here, and I pressed an extra button, but here we are back on the menu. So right off the bat, you're gonna notice a few things different. First off, we don't have new game, we have new campaign. And that is for a very, very good reason. Severed Chains does not just have like one single memory card. that you put all of your saves on. Each time you start a new game, you're actually creating a new campaign. So you'll see here, for example, I've got two different campaigns here, and when I go into one, they have their own saves list. And you can give your campaigns and save games names, which really helps to differentiate things here. And not only that, but you can have an unlimited number of save games. As you can see, I'm scrolling very, very far here. Now, a big reason we did this is because of the modding API. So when I go into the new campaign menu here, you can see I can give it a name. It would help if I could spell campaign. A new campaign. Oh, also you can see we've got mouse support too, which is pretty nice. Then we've got our mods list here. So I've got a few things here. Legend of Dragoon Core and Game are not disableable right now, but in the future we plan to extend the modding API very, very far, far enough that people will be able to literally turn off Legend of Dragoon and install like total campaign overhaul mods. Like people using the modding API will be able to make their very own games in the Legend of Dragoon engine. Icarus is actually working on the start of that. Icarus is one of our... Ink says turn off Xenobatos. That would be very nice. Yeah, so Icarus is working on the start of that right now. He's one of our Severed Chains devs, and he's actually working on some entirely new maps. And little teaser here, a new game mode that is nothing like anyone here has ever seen before in Legend of Dragoon. Like big, big things. You can see we've also got the upscale mod here, which is a mod by Zycronix and the Flying Zamboni, which a lot of people have probably seen already and are very excited about. We will be showing that off as well. And I've got this infinite MP and SP mod that we've been using for some testing. You can see I can toggle these on and off. Now, if I was to toggle this off and start a new campaign, this set of mods will only be enabled for this campaign. You can have different mods enabled for different campaigns, and Severed Chains will actually just like hot swap the mods that you need when you load a game. You can see we've also got a much, much larger options list here. We've got a lot of new graphic settings, for example, full screen. If I click on this, we will pop into full screen here. We have... what other stuff? We've got widescreen support in a lot of the game. You can use widescreen in battle and on the world map for now. We'll show that off too. And we will be adding a few different widescreen modes to submaps, which are like the towns and things like that. That's a little trickier because they use pre-rendered backgrounds, so there's going to be a bit of a trade-off if you want to use those in widescreen. But yeah, we'll have a few different options for that so that people can sort of decide what kind of trade-off they want to make if they want it in widescreen. And we've got a lot of usability options here as well. For example, if you don't like doing additions or you have issues with your wrists or your hands that makes it difficult, you can set it to automatic, which makes it so that it's basically like you have a free Ultimate War God. We have the same for Dragoon editions. We've got automatic text advance and quick text, which is down here. We have controller selection. You can see I've got my Xbox controller plugged in right now. We support something like 1,800 different controllers. right out of the box, so you don't need to use any third-party tools for making PlayStation controllers or anything like that work. You can also update your key bindings. You can disable your status effects. We have a few different encounter rates. So you can go from the insane intended rate that the developers actually wanted the game to have, or you can go all the way down to none. So this is what we've got now. Drew, we should talk a bit about what we are planning to add for options in the future.
Yes. There are so many juicy things.
Yeah, so a big thing for us to start out with, these aren't very juicy, but they are very important, is usability features. Things for people who may be, for example, like colorblind or have wrist issues, etc., etc. We are getting into our 30s now, so I don't know about you, but I can't quite mash like I used to. So yeah, one thing will be like colorblind filters for people who are colorblind. I am also colorblind, actually. Another will be being able to adjust how fast you have to mash the button for your item spells. Drew, do you have any specific ones that you want to mention that we'll be doing in the future?
PvP.
Yeah, that's going to be an entire other game mode.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, not kidding, but that's
we're not kidding, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later.
You want like recent things that'll be in the near future?
Yeah, just like new options and things we're going to be adding. And an important one will be the ability to control the different sound effects individually. So we'll have like volume sliders for sound effects, music, etc., etc.
Did you say texture replacement yet?
Texture replacement actually is already a thing with the upscale mod, and we will be showing that off. Yeah, I've got part of the upscale mod that we'll show here. Yeah, let's turn on quick text. You can adjust your inventory size as well. You can go all the way down to one item if you only want to be able to hold one item at a time, but you can also go super, super high. You can go all the way up to 9,999. So, you know, if you really never want to run out of space.
You could torture yourself and be like, oh, there's 9,000 slots, I've got to fill my inventory or I can't proceed.
So far, we have not had anyone actually manage to fill them all up, so, you know, challenge.
Technically, I did put like several thousand charm potions in.
True.
It was easy to buy them, they're so cheap.
John Hack says, hey guys, do you know if this will work on Steam Deck as well? Yes, we have a specific Steam Deck build, actually. If you go to our GitHub page here, over to the Releases tab, you can see we have, amongst other things, Steam Deck. We have a Windows build, obviously. We support both kinds of Macs. We support Linux. We support mobile Linux devices using ARM processors. We got all kinds of stuff. And anybody who is interested in trying out the build that I'm running here right now, we have the dev build as well. Note that it is not tested thoroughly. This build is automatically built and deployed every time we push new code. So this is literally like up to the minute. We do not do extensive testing for this, so you may run into issues, but this build here has all of the very, very juicy OpenGL stuff, HD graphics, 60 frames per second, widescreen, etc. What were you going to say there, Drew?
Someone was asking relating to, you were saying the platforms we're releasing on. Android is possible. So that will be hopefully a thing in the future. We just need a volunteer to help us do the code for that because Monoxide really does not want to do the Android dev.
Yeah, sorry about it, but I despise Android development. Like, if I was to do an Android version of this, it would probably be the end of the project. It is entirely possible. The libraries that we use will all run on Android. Someone just needs to step up and do a little bit of work. Rick Perez, thank you very much for the super chat, and you are very welcome for the hard work. Very much appreciated. Seriously, all of the support that we get from the community on this is like insane. It makes all of this possible.
You say that right as Cuddle Queen tells you, "Come on, eat through the pain." For the Android dev.
Yeah,
That's
okay, so
support right
we
there.
appreciate the support from most people. I'm joking though. We appreciate the entire community here. You guys are all amazing.
Hello, Sind Gaming. Welcome. I said
Oh,
your
you
name
said it
right this
right.
time.
You said it right.
I did. I can pronounce things sometimes.
Very
Gushing
nice.
magma.
Sometimes. All right, so we are just going to start a new campaign here. So you're gonna actually be seeing HD graphics here. I'm not going to put this into full screen because for some reason YouTube just really does not like my setup and it will lag even though I'm not dropping frames and my network connection is fine. Don't know what's up with that, but we're gonna watch it in windowed mode. This is still 3 times scaling, so it's going to look much nicer, and it will be running at 60 frames per second with very, very nice interpolated animations too. One nice thing that we can do here is skip cuts the FMVs, which we can't do in retail. And big thing here, this is using the upscale project. So you'll notice that the backgrounds look much, much nicer than they do in retail. Rose is being shy.
Oh no.
Interesting.
Now Dart will actually lose in hoax. Crap. Oh,
I know
no.
this is quite a trope, but this has never happened before.
It's just a narrator. The green tusk dragon Fairbrand.
Yep. Rip Rose.
You didn't do this on purpose, right?
No. Yeah, we're
Is
actually
Dart there?
missing 3D rendering entirely.
This is hilarious.
I actually ran through this not long before.
It was working for me like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, okay, let's just restart this and see. So again, this is the up to the minute build. Um, we're using like the very, very latest code with all the OpenGL stuff. This is still a work in progress, obviously. So, you know, we may run into some issues here. We may not. Let's just make sure this is all configured again. Allow widescreen when possible. And let's start again and see what happens.
And if we miss a question, feel free to repeat it or add us or something. We will do our
for
best
sure.
to answer all of the questions. This is all very sudden
There
for
we
us, so
go.
we kind of had to rush to put everything together for today. But going forward, we'll have some more helpers in the chat and like a cheat sheet to answer common questions as well.
Yeah, this like I said, this week has been an absolute whirlwind. Like we never ever expected to be mentioned in PC Gamer. Like that's insane. And yeah, we've basically just been like scrambling since then to keep on top of all the new users joining and trying to plan out something special to do just to welcome all of the new people.
Our favorite Looney Tunes character, Corey.
Favorite Looney Tunes character?
Yeah. Is it allowed to pick someone that's not in Looney Tunes? Because I'm not sure. Oh God, that core memory unlock.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you.
They're all so different.
I've never really put any thought into that.
Sometimes I get a kick out of Daffy or Bugs. It just depends on the scene, I guess. Some of
I
the
mean,
comedy.
Bugs Bunny is the obvious choice.
Mhm.
Is the
Roadrunner.
Roadrunner a Looney Tunes character? Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say Roadrunner, just because the
They're
Roadrunner is a little shit.
they're in some of the cartoons, so it's got to count. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say the Roadrunner just because the Roadrunner specializes in accessing pocket dimensions that no one else can seem to get to.
Fair enough.
Just like LOD.
Yeah, so what we're seeing here is basically the demo that we recently uploaded to YouTube. So this is just proof that that video, there's no smoke and mirrors. It was running in real time in-game. You can download this right now and try it out. Also, you may have noticed that we have basically instant loading times, which is a really, really nice thing. Actually, it's become a bit of like a running joke with all of the Severed Chains devs. Anytime we have to like fire up an emulator to check something, like compare a thing and make sure that we got it right in Severed Chains, or like compare something to try and figure out a bug, it is like painful waiting for the loading screens. You wouldn't think that just like, a few things once in a while would make such a difference, but just like starting the game, loading a save from a memory card, like it's it's just painful now.
Mm-hmm. It really goes to show how many older games could use even the most basic quality of life improvements that'll completely transform them. You think about game reviews and games get like a 4 or a 6 just because, like, not that the design idea was bad, but it was maybe implemented poorly or something went wrong, they didn't have enough time perhaps, whatever. And then you can just, it's not that simple, but if you do the work to reverse it, you can tighten all that up and take a 6 out of 10 game and make it a 9 out of 10 in short order. And that's kind of what we're, doing with LOD. Some of the complaints is the very long battle animations for like the D magic and stuff, and the loading times add to that, and there's a lot of text to sift through, and all these little quality of life optimizations will save you a lot of time, so you're spending less time waiting and more time playing.
Yeah, exactly. So we got a couple of questions in the chat. So John Hack is asking about Sunamod, so we might as well talk about that a little bit while we're here. There is a very, very talented studio called Sunamods, and what they do is they take old games like this and they fully voice them. So they've done this with Final Fantasy VII and I think a couple other games. So they are going to be making a mod for the Severed Chains platform, just fully voicing the entire game. Every text box, everything said in battle, every cutscene will have voice lines recorded for it, and you will be able to experience that in Severed Chains. And that is one of the very coolest things that we could ever say for a 24-year-old game. And yeah, you might have noticed me running around here a little bit, just enjoying the 60 frames per second. Imung Unagami says, so Dragoon animations are already in 60 frames per second. No. So the way that the animations in Legend of Dragoon work is they are what's known as keyframe animation. So there will be a certain number of frames of the animation that have like positioning and rotation values. And what we are doing here is actually generating frames in between those keyframes. So the animations, a lot of them are actually built to run at 10 or 15 frames per second, with interpolation frames injected in between them. So we are basically just injecting more interpolation frames to smooth that out. Now you will notice that battle is still 20 frames per second here, but even so, the difference just with the improved animation code is insane. Like just take a look at Dart here compared to retail. It's like not even close. Saw a bit of panning judder there, but I suppose that's only on YouTube side. Yeah, it's very, very smooth in Severed Chains. That's probably just an issue with the streaming. No reason to play it on PS1 anymore. Yeah, basically. In my opinion, at least, I think that Severed Chains is going to be the default way to play as soon as we finish releasing this build. Can you open the menu again? Yes, I will do that again once we finish this fight. Sorry, I didn't see that until now. Sorry, just trying to catch up on chat here a little bit. Are they going to voice over the weapon smack sounds? I don't think they're going to do that, but someone else asked about the NPCs. Yes, even all minor NPCs are going to be fully voiced. Every single bit of dialogue in the game. Ophi, yes, this will be a mod. It will be something that you will have to download and install if you would like to use it. Actually, real quick while I'm on this topic, installing a mod is very, very easy. So literally all you have to do is drop it into your mods folder. You can see I've got these two mods here. I just downloaded those and I dropped them in, and that's it. They are there. Best remake ever, thank you very much. Yes, the X being behind the boot is a known issue. That'll be fixed, obviously, before we release this version. Welcome, Sindragon, you finally made a stream. Dank Reddit Memes asks, where are the mods found? So we are going to host certain mods on the legendofdragoon.org website. These will be mods that we have vetted, basically made sure that they work well, there's nothing malicious there, and are, obviously follow our community guidelines and stuff like that. We're not going to be hosting any like nudity mods or anything like that ever.
Yep.
But yeah, you'll. Yeah, exactly. Our server is a family-friendly server, so yeah, we'll always be sticking with stuff like that. But yeah, we will be hosting some on the website, and people will be free to advertise their mods in the modding channel of our Discord server. Icarus, we can do a Kongal swimsuit mod. That's not too racy. Don't worry.
Ah, jeez.
Are you considering any security checks to ensure that mods can't run malicious code? Any mods that we host will be required to be open source. We are considering requiring the Severed Chains dev kit to have the GPL v3 license, which would mean that all mods across the board have to be open source. That may be a little bit controversial with some people, but I am a very, very big proponent of the open source community. Open source projects are what makes things like Severed Chains possible. Severed Chains is fully open source as well. and it allows anyone to take a look at the source code and make sure there's nothing funny going on. But yeah, so every mod that is hosted on our website will be vetted for security, safety, make sure that it works, etc., etc. That'll be a very important thing for us. Sorry, still just catching up on chat. Very, very chatty day, which is totally fine. Was that a $200 donation? Sorry if I missed a donation here. I have way too many windows up right now, and just give me 1 second here. Good Lord, yes. Thank you, Kevin, for the $225 donation.
Holy
you
shit.
are a lunatic. In the best way. That is ridiculous.
That is the biggest donation.
that is
either
by far the biggest donation that either of us have ever received.
It's definitely more than double, if not even more than that. Wow. Thank you so much.
Good Lord, Kevin. Thank you.
Oh. Don't give us heart attacks. We have to be alive to keep going, you understand.
Yeah.
That's
donations getting embiggened, yeah.
Well, guess we better continue.
Yeah. Oh god, what were we even talking about here? We were talking about the modding API. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about what the modding API is going to hold in the future. So the release we're working on right now is going to be focused on graphics. That's what we're seeing here right now for anyone who is tuned in recently. This is high definition graphics, very, very clearly. And in fact, I am going to hit the pause button and go into FreeCam. And we're going to take a closer look here. So, compare this to the PS1 graphics. One thing I would like to be very, very clear on. This is retail. So nothing that you're seeing here has been replaced with higher quality assets. The stuff that we saw earlier with the upscaled backgrounds, those were replaced. But everything here in battle, this is all the originals. This is the original models, the original textures. The Legend of Dragoon devs actually developed this game and included assets that are much, much higher quality than the PS1 was ever capable of displaying. So, as you can see here, like really up close, it's a little bit pixelated, but like the resolution on any part of this armor is so far past what the PS1 can actually display. Like it's wild. Even on like NPCs that you only see a couple of times. Like, look at the quality of the textures on this armor. Yes, FreeCam. Yeah, no, this did of course come out like at basically the very end of the PS1's life cycle. So, there is a bit of speculation on whether they might have been hoping to make it a PS2 game. Obviously that didn't happen. But, yeah, anyway, so we are definitely blessed with how good everything looks. you know, if this was a lot of other PS1 games, rendering it in high definition just would not look very good. But yeah, the quality here is just like it's crazy for 1999. Yeah, Seguro Misato says, like an FF7 mods, imagine the future of mods for this game. It is going to be wild. We are going to be talking about a few of the mods that are already in progress or released here soon. And yeah, so again, this is only 20 frames per second in battle, but just with the improvements that I've made to the animation quality, it looks much better already. Now you're gonna see a little bit of weirdness when I attack here because battle is still very work in progress, but this will show off how much better the animations look. And we'll bring it back down to 4:3 window, just so that things aren't stretched. I haven't finished the widescreen support for the submaps yet, so if we do go widescreen, you'll see that it just stretches everything, but we'll have some other options here for that when I finish it. Yes, this game is going to be 25 this year. I was 8 when it came out.
December 2nd's coming up too fast almost.
Yep. Yes, J-Man, I actually fixed the animation judder in battle frantically before this stream happened because I really wanted to show off the OpenGL update without that much jank. So someone wanted to see the inventory menu. So this is also still a work in progress. You can see the lines don't quite go all the way across and stuff. We are going to be overhauling a lot of the menus because you know we're obviously no longer restricted to 320 by 240 resolution. We can fit a lot more on screens, so you know screens that are very cramped, like the status screen, for example. You're going to see some rendering issues in the menus, like what you're seeing right now. This will obviously be fixed by the time we release this build. But yeah, we'll be able to uncramp a lot of this stuff, show some more information, like your SP, your Dragoon experience, for example. That's something that you can never actually see in-game in retail. That's also something, a mod that's built into Severed Chains is on the post-game, or the post-battle screen, you can actually see how much Dragoon experience you gained. So that's quite nice. Yeah, we've got all of your standard screens. We collapsed a couple of the menus together. The inventory screen. We no longer have an item list. We just have inventory here because it didn't really make sense to have two menus that were basically the exact same, but one you could do something on and one you couldn't. You can access all of your options in-game as well. You can even change your graphics settings, like I can pop back into full screen, for example, pop back out. You can change your controller, your keybinds, everything. That's very nice. One thing that I haven't shown is that we can do save anywhere, which makes it so I am always able to save my game. Again, you can give your saved games names. That is really hard to say. I've messed that up every single time. And now if we go back in here, you can see it's got a name. Very nice. Or you can overwrite your save. And you can see how quickly the save game menu loads, how quickly it saves. And you can also quit back to the main menu, which is a nice little addition. Just gonna do this a couple of times just to show how very fast this is compared to retail. Yes, named saved games. I said it right that time. And you can have unlimited saved games. Yeah, no more 16 save restrictions, so you can just go wild. I literally have like 250 saves in my main campaign. Yeah, no more limited inventory. You can adjust your inventory size as you please. I've got it set to 50 for this campaign. You can set it on a per campaign basis too, so if you wanted to do like one super hard mode run where you only had 20 items, 10 items, whatever, you can do that. When you load that campaign, you will have that limited inventory size, whereas on a different campaign, you could have 1,000. Which retail version did you use? I still have my EU Crystal Case copy. At the moment, we are only able to support the US version. The only reason we chose US is that's the version that I had. That's what we got in Canada. So that's what it's built on. We would definitely like to support other regions as well. That's going to be something that we look into very soon after this build is released. Let me see here. Conwolf says, what about the XP grind for team members not used in combat? So I haven't integrated that yet, but I will be adding a mod to allow your backup party to be able to get full experience as well. That'll just be another option that you can tick off in the settings when you start a new game. Let's see. Can you choose what character you start the game with? At the moment, you cannot. There is a mod called Dragoon modifier. Anyone who's played Legend of Dragoon on emulators a lot may be familiar with Dragoon modifier by Zychronics already. Dragoon modifier for emulators has now been discontinued and is being made as a mod for Severed Chains. We'll be showing that off. Not this stream, because it is not currently compatible with the current dev builds, but we are going to discuss it a little bit and what it does. Among other things, it allows you to start the game with all characters, so that's pretty cool. And you can start with them all at level 1, which is not the case if you were to just hack them in. So Drew, let's talk mods.
Yes, there is someone here visiting apparently, so it's really noisy outside the door. I'm going to limit my speech temporarily, but what should we say about mods?
Well, we've got a few mods that I'd like to talk about. Some mods that are either already available or are currently a work in progress. To start out with, we'll just kind of rapid fire a few simple ones here. You may have saw when I started this campaign, I had an infinite MP and SP mod enabled. So that does exactly what it says on the tin. It just gives you infinite MP and SP. We've been using that for doing some testing. We have a mod by Denny17, which is a gold and XP multiplier. So basically what that does is it adds 2 configuration options, one for your gold and one for XP. And you can set the multiplier anywhere from 1/4 to 10 times the XP and gold gains. So if you wanted to do like a challenge run, you could crank that multiplier down, right down to like 1/4 or 1/2 or whatever you want. Make it so your characters level up much more slowly. Or if you want to just speed through, level up like crazy, you can go all the way up to a 10 times multiplier. Icarus, who we mentioned earlier, Icarus is one of the Severed Chains devs. He's been mostly working on doing script patches, and also working on making it so that modders are able to create entirely new maps in Severed Chains, which is, of course, the start of being able to create entirely new campaigns. But Icarus has made a mod that adds an NPC to the planetarium in Fletz that gives you a hint as to where your next Stardust is. So for people who don't want to use a guide to find their Stardust, but would like to be able to get hints on it, you can use that mod. Another mod that has not been started on the programming side yet, but has had a lot of work done on it, is Lloyd Sorrow's complete music remaster. So
I'd like to talk about this a little bit as well.
Yes, absolutely. So that's going to be very, very cool. So Lloyd is remastering the entire soundtrack, like every single song in this game.
Of course,
he's already made he's already made a lot of progress on it too. At the start of the stream, that's actually what I had playing in the background. Those were all his songs. I will say personally, I am very, very rarely a fan of remixes of video game music. What Lloyd is doing, however, is not so much remixes, but just taking the already fantastic music of Legend of Dragoon and just like gently cranking it up like those few extra notches and just making it sound amazing.
Gently cranking. We need to make that a regular thing we say.
Yeah. No, it's really good.
Yeah.
Like, he is fantastic. I was so surprised by how great they all sound.
So, may I pick up from here a little?
Yeah, totally.
So normally, when we listen to music, it's almost always like a point A to point B kind of a thing. There's the starting, and then the music just flows through, and then it ends somewhere. There's some repeating, refrains or verses and whatnot here and there. But in video game music, when you have things like battle, you have actually an opening section, a looping section that needs to just be seamless. So when it ends, it just picks up immediately and sounds like it's an unbroken song. And then whenever you finish the battle and you win or whatever, it'll play the outro. So the way this will be set up is instead of just giving us regular tracks, we'll have fan musicians who are making mods give us a loopable version that'll have like an intro piece, a loop, and then an end piece. And maybe they don't need the intro and the outro part, but at least give us the loop so that we can have that swap in there. So whether you want to use like an entire replacement mod, if someone's going to be that ambitious, like Lloyd, or perhaps if some of you know Mr. Tremolo, Garrett Turney on YouTube, he's made several recent remixes or covers with his amazing guitar skills, and just Anger of the Winglies sounds really good. Check out his channel. You can listen to one musician's whole big batch of tracks for a playthrough, or you could use tracks from different musicians potentially, like Lloyd Sorrow doing Shrine of Shirley, or Philharmonic Vivern doing Evergreen Forest, whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of possibilities here.
Yeah, and I am actually going to link Lloyd's YouTube channel in the chat here, so everyone should go ahead and give him a follow. Every time he's done working on a song, he posts it on YouTube. He posts it in the Legend of Dragoon Discord server. So yeah, definitely give him a follow. Check out his stuff. It's great. Now that we're on the world map, you can see I also have widescreen support here. This has also been updated to 60 frames per second. Kind of hard to show off on this tiny little path here, but it is. Forgot I had random encounters enabled here. So next up, we are going to discuss Ink's Iron Goon. Ink is also a Severed Chains dev. He's in the chat right now. How you doing, Ink? So is anyone familiar with Ironmon, the Pokemon mod? Anyone in the chat familiar with that? I'm gonna turn off my encounters.
And just to quickly interject, we have just about 108 concurrent viewers. That is incredible.
Yeah, this is by far the most viewers we have ever had at one time. It's great to have everybody here.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah, anyone who's watching right now, if you haven't yet subscribed, please feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We do streams once a week, dev streams that showcase the development of Severed Chains. We also get up to some shenanigans during those streams, looking at things like cut features, things that the devs kind of hid in the code, hid on submaps. We found some interesting stuff along the way. And you just kind of get an inside look at the Severed Chains development. We also post some shorter videos as well, just kind of showcasing the new Severed Chains features, like what we posted a few days ago that got shared by PC Gamer. But yeah, give us a subscription and a like on the video. It helps us out a lot.
Thanks for coming, Sugru. We really appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully we can keep wowing you as time goes on.
Yeah, totally. For example, sorry, go ahead.
It's pretty obvious at this point, Corey, that we're really touching on the heartstrings of all the other fans who probably just feel exactly the way we do in general.
Yeah, definitely. So speaking of interesting things we found during the dev streams, there is one on this map right here. We're going to take 2 seconds here and just pop open the debug tools. So Severed Chains has a suite of debuggers. Thank you, Skull Garden, for the $25 donation. Very, very much appreciated. So, yeah. This stream's been going great. So yes, we've got a suite of debugger tools built into Severed Chains. You can do all kinds of stuff with them. We're just going to show off something real quick here. So this is the collision debugger. This shows the collision map for this map. It shows where you can walk, where you can't. You can see what's under me is highlighted blue. And you can see this path to the right that is blocked by this red thing. So the red thing is a blocker. This means at one point, the devs actually intended for you to climb up this tree here. So, my theory on that subject is that at one point, rather than just hiding behind this rock here as the cart went by, you were actually supposed to climb up this tree and jump into the cart from the top. Just all kinds of, weird little things like that we found that, we'd never be able to see without these tools that we've made. There's all kinds of stuff like that. We found, Drew, what is the port city on the third disc where you meet everyone at the hotel? Is that Fueno or Fernie? I always mix up the names.
Fueno is after the Queen Fury mishap.
Right.
And Fernie is the start of Chapter 3.
Yeah, so in Fueno, there's actually like um, a building with a spiral staircase inside of it and stuff. Just all kinds of little things like that. Right, we were going to talk about Iron Goon, Ink's mod that he's working on. So for anyone who is familiar with Iron Mon, a mod for the various Pokemon games, Iron Goon is basically a challenge run builder. Let me just bring up what he shared with me earlier about the topic. So he said that the gist of it is to randomize specific elements of the playthrough and to make your playthroughs sort of stand alone. It makes your playthroughs a lot more difficult, and also really keeps things fresh while you're playing because, you know, every time you play, it's going to be different. So it's sort of like a randomizer in a sense. Um, so he's going to be applying this as rule sets. And you'll be able to use different pre-built rule sets or build your own, pick your own random seeds and stuff. I should have healed myself, so I'm just going to pop open the combat debugger and update my hit points, because we are cheating this run. So Iron Goon is going to make it so that you can randomize all kinds of stuff. Things like character and monster stats, for example, chest contents, having random items. You can have shops have random items, or even disable shops altogether, if you really want that challenge. No running from fights, and if your character dies, the campaign ends. And he said, in that case, Shauna wins and regenerates the world. So yes, this is going to be very, very customizable, and also compatible with all kinds of other mods. That's one of the big tenets of the modding API in Severed Chains. We are striving to basically completely avoid mod collisions. People who played, for example, Minecraft back in the day, you may remember that certain mods were just completely incompatible with each other. And if you go really far back, basically if two mods modified the same file, you just couldn't use those together unless somebody made a special patch that made them compatible. Going forward a little bit further, you may remember that certain modders basically had to agree on what ID ranges they were allowed to use for blocks, and if two mods used the same ID range, then you just couldn't use them together. That was that. We have built the modding API from the ground up to completely avoid mod collisions. So everything uses unique names rather than IDs. And mods can even be hot swapped at runtime. Most games, when you enable or disable mods, you need to reboot the game. We can just turn mods on and off at basically any time. Just one sec, I gotta have a drink of water, getting a little dry here. Gank Stalking Clips says, will you guys have this in native 4K 60 frames per second plus? Yes. Timing. So what you're seeing right here, right now, it will render at whatever size you have the window at. So if you have a 4K display, it is rendering at 4K, and it is running at 60 frames per second right now. We plan on pushing that further in the future to uncapped frame rates. But 60 frames per second was just a very, very good stepping stone towards that made a huge difference in the quality already, but wasn't nearly as big of a task as going full uncapped. Hope someone mods the polygon and textures for magic from items. Those were very awful back in the day. Yeah, we're basically planning to make it so that modders are able to swap out just about any of the game assets. We already do have a significant amount of that done in this release. The upscale project, which let's talk about the upscale project next, Drew. I'm just gonna save my game and we're gonna pop back to the menu. So we showed the upscale project when I started this campaign. We're going to start another new campaign here just while we're on the topic of the upscale project. So the upscale project, basically what it is they're AI models that are trained by TFZ, the Flying Zamboni, and Zychronics. We are well aware of the ethical concerns of using AI, generative AIs for image processing. However, they have trained these models themselves in an ethical way, using freely available images. So we've done the best here to do this all completely above board. So as you can see here, in this intro cutscene, the backgrounds look much crisper than what they do in the retail game. These are all pre-rendered backgrounds. They're not actually 3D. So we can't just render those in higher quality like we can with the models and things like that. So what they're doing is basically taking all the backgrounds in the game, running them through these custom-built AI model chains to upscale them, and then importing them back into the game. And they are actually doing the same thing with the model textures as well. So I don't have those model textures yet. They're still working on that. But they have, for example, done that with Dart, Fairbrand, the soldiers in this cutscene. That is all visible on the most recent video that we uploaded to YouTube. You can see all the models with the upscaled textures too. And yeah, there's no trickery in that video whatsoever. It is all running in real time in Legend of Dragoon, and it is 100% playable right now. I'm not going to show any more than this first area here of the upscale, but Drew is going to show a lot of very nice stuff on Disc 3 when we switch over to them a little later.
If we can get it working.
Are you still having issues with that?
Yes, unfortunately.
So what's the deal?
I can't even speak English right now with all the news going on. I will get back to you very shortly.
Okay. No, the entire game isn't playable upscaled yet. They are still actively working on this project. In fact, you'll see once I get out of this, I'm gonna increase the speed here a bit. We'll go at 3 times speed here, just to get through this. So I just have a few maps here, and you'll see once we're through this that it will be back to the standard backgrounds. So it is a work in progress. Yeah, so we've just got the regular backgrounds here. It is still a work in progress. It will be available at some point after recommended build 3 is released. I think that Zychronics has made some pretty significant progress on Disc 3 and maybe Disc 4. He's in the chat right now, so he can confirm that. And we have the Flying Zamboni working on Disc 1 and 2. Now, they did have a bit more finished, but they've made some very, very big improvements to their workflow since switching over to making it for Severed Chains. So they're redoing quite a bit of it, and it trust me, the difference between the old and the new upscales are like night and day. It's crazy. But yeah, so Drew will hopefully show a little bit more of that later. And yeah, speaking of Zychronics, we should also talk about Dragoon modifier. So again, we mentioned that a little earlier. Dragoon modifier used to be a tool for emulators that let you do all kinds of stuff. Among them is hard mode, which is a complete rebalance of the game that Zychronics made. And I am going to bring up the hard mode information here. So we'll talk about hard mode, but we'll also talk about a little bit of the other features that it does. So one of them is that it just lets you edit the stats of basically everything in the game. Like, you can change your character stats, you can change enemy stats, items, you can change what shops have. I'm definitely missing stuff, spells, etc., etc. And you can actually do that just by editing basic CSV files. And Dragoon modifier ships with several presets. One of those being the standard US. So that would just be like regular Severed Chains if you didn't have Dragoon modifier enabled. Then we've got some interesting stuff, like you can play with the Japan preset. You can even play with the US and JP demo stats. So for anyone who's played the Legend of Dragoon demo, either on a demo disc or at a kiosk in a game store or department store or whatever, they actually included stats for the entire game in those demos. Even like all the way up to the final boss. So Zychronics has extracted that, all of the stats, the shops, items, everything, and has created presets for Dragoon modifier. So you can play through the entire game using those stats. And some things get pretty weird. Drew actually did a live stream series playing with the Japan demo stats.
It was pretty wild, I tell you. Madness Hero being damage based was nuts.
Yeah. Now, the big thing here, of course, is hard mode, which is available now, and hell mode, which is still a work in progress. So hard mode is a full rebalance of the game. It changes all of your character stats, makes them a lot more balanced. Anyone who's used Kongal will understand that he's unfortunately not the greatest character. Hard mode fixes that. All of the characters are roughly on equal footing, but they do have different skills, abilities that make them better in certain ways. It also adds completely new features, which is very, very interesting. For example, Dart has what's called burn stacks. And you can spend those burn stacks. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Zychronics. I'm a little rusty on the features of Dragoon modifier hard mode. But you can expend those to... Yeah, okay, so it says right here what they do. Dart will gain the following amount of MP every time he reaches the following amount of burn stacks. So you'll regain MP. I think it also you can spend them to do bonus damage. Yes, here we go. Dart's Dragoon Edition and Magic will be increased by 10% per burn stack. Yes, you can spend burn stacks, and each burn stack is 20% damage, 10% damage. Yeah, so every character has these unique new abilities. Lavitz/Albert has Windmark. Shauna has special abilities based on different things she has equipped, etc., etc. I will link the Dramod README in the chat as well for anyone who's curious. And I'm not sure if this is in hard mode, but Hell mode actually has up to level 7 Dragoons, so you're no longer limited to level 5. Dank Reddit meme says, silly mod idea, additions for Shauna somehow. That is planned. So there you go. Yeah, that's totally something that we have planned. And I suppose while we are on the topic of mods, we should talk about a little bit what's coming in the future of the modding API. So, among other things, we are planning on making it so that you can add new items, new spells, new NPCs, new encounters, even entirely new maps, new areas of the game. Eventually, we will even allow you to turn off the Legend of Dragoon campaign and create an entire new campaign in the Legend of Dragoon engine. We've got some crazy game modes and things planned too. Among those being a PvP mode. So you'll actually be able to connect up with other players, and we'll have sort of a system that allows you to choose the levels, what characters you're going to use, what items you have available. Both players will agree on this configuration set, and you will be able to fight against each other.
If I can have my way, we'll even add tournaments and things at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure we will organize some tournaments and things like that.
We can already theme it to have our, the different players' characters run into the arena, the hero competition area.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll have a few different areas and maybe even some custom ones, because that will be possible.
Another game mode adjustment would be boss rush. I don't know if you said that already.
No, I haven't.
So personally, I thought of it because of Golden Sun, because that's one of the only games I know it from. But Golden Sun had a boss rush mode where you could go into the lobby, and I think it was also where you could do game link cable PvP, but you could also just fight the computer basically, and it would just keep sending random bosses at you, and eventually it would almost always be the Star Magician, which is like their version of Faust, I think.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a fight, and it would just get harder and harder and harder, and eventually they would, you could count how many bosses you defeated before you were finally wiped out. So hopefully we can do something similar where, the game just throws random bosses at you, and if it ever throws a repeat at you, eventually they'll be harder and harder. They'll have more HP. The HP will scale up. The other stats might scale up as well. You might fight multiple bosses at once. There's all different kinds of ways we could potentially configure that. But I think that'd be pretty fun. I'd like to see all the bosses kind of get edited and completely. It's a lot more work, but if we could get all the bosses redesigned a little bit to have like a moon variant, so you could have like a moon variant of Frugal and a moon variant a Firebrand and a Moon variant of Wendigo, and maybe have them slightly altered or something. There's all kinds of ideas there.
Yeah, I mean, we can apply fairly simple scaling to them as well. Yes, the level cap will be made flexible. Mods will be able to adjust that. And I'm sure that with Zychronix's track record, that will be something that he does pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yes. We plan on making it so that you can add health bars to bosses as well. Zychronix has, I think Zychronix has added that in Dragoon modifier already, as like, it replaces their name, I think. But yes, we plan on adding like optional health bars that you can toggle on as well.
I assume you want to switch in the next few minutes?
Yeah, we'll switch over here pretty soon. A couple other mod things I wanted to talk about. If I can remember my train of thought.
I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, sure. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. So on the topic of PvP, we are also going to add a co-op mode where you can have your friends control certain characters when you're in combat. So rather than one person alternating between each character, you'll be able to say like, you know, player 1 controls Dart, player 2 controls Lavitz, player 3 controls Rose, etc., etc. Oh yeah, we should talk about no Dart. So amongst the other changes that we've made, let's just load up a save here where Dart is no longer the main character. Just gonna pop open the debugger and we will start a random fight. Now Kongol's the main character. Oh, right! Lloyd is also a character. I forgot about that. Awkward. Let's get a better view of this. So yeah, we'll pop back into free cam here. So we'll show off some of the very, very high quality models. Super high quality. Very, very detailed facial features. They even have noses. I know that blew someone's mind in the last video that we did. Yeah, so these are all retail assets. We're just rendering them in much higher quality. I completely forgot that I had modded Lloyd into the place of Miranda. But yeah, so this is what we were working on during the last dev stream. The dev stream is something that I do every Wednesday, where we sort of just see what kind of shenanigans we can get up to. And yeah, let's put Lloyd through his magical girl transformation and see what comes out the other side. Very nice. Very nice. So, yeah, speaking of mods, we are also making it so that modders will be able to add new characters to the game. Of course, one of those is going to be the very, very much requested Lloyd. We also did a little bit of messing around on the stream before last, where we made it so you could play as Lloyd on the world map too. That was pretty cool. Um, we actually did a bunch of different characters, everything from Lloyd to Pelpy, the Manitos. What else did we do? We made it so you could run around as a dog, a chicken, just a bunch of random stuff. The dev streams are kind of like a less serious thing. We just kind of mess around with the code and see what we can talk the game into doing. We've even done fights against every single one of the original Dragoons at the same time. We fought against like 40 vampire Kiwis at once. But isn't that a Wingley armor, though? Yes. So that's actually a common misconception that a lot of people have. Many people think that this is Lloyd as the Divine Dragoon, but the Divine Dragon Spirit didn't actually choose him. This is just his Wingley armor. So you can see a bit of a difference here. It's more like technological rather than the sort of like organic look that the Dragoon armor has. I actually thought that he was a Dragoon as well too for quite a while, but yeah, no, not so much. Wonder if there will ever be a campaign mod to showcase Lloyd's adventures with Zeeg. There is a lot of interest in that. I know it's something that Drew really wants to do, and a lot of other people. Basically making a villain campaign that sort of shows the other side of Legend of Dragoon. Like what was going on behind the scenes that you don't really get to see. Dragoons have more wingies than Wingleys, yes. So yeah, that would be very, very cool, and it's certainly something that I would like to support. I'm also going to show you how incredibly cursed it looks when you apply an animation to the wrong character. Can enemy encounters have more than 3 enemies like the Ghost Captain and his guards on the Phantom ship? So, in Legend of Dragoon, there's a hard limit of 3 unique characters, and I think 5 total enemies. However, in Severed Chains, we are removing that restriction. We're gonna make it so that you can have you can build encounters with literally any number of enemies that you want. Oh, sorry, Zekronic's correcting me. It's 6 total enemies, 3 unique. But yeah, we're removing a lot of those restrictions. Basically, what we're doing with Severed Chains is taking like as many of the restrictions away as we possibly can. Here, let me show you another one of the restrictions that we have removed, which is how much damage you can do. Okay, so we've got Rose here, so we are going to just jack Rose's level up really high, and her attack. And we're gonna see what kind of damage numbers we can do here. Drop the defense down. I screwed it up. But anyway, yeah, you can see there. We upped the damage cap to like, I think it's 99,999,999 or something like that. Actually, no, it's even higher than that. It's 10 times higher than that. So that'll come in handy for mods that really want to crank stuff up to the next level. I'd love to see a campaign where you play as Zeeg and we get to see that side of the story, which we know a few bits from the main game, like the Dragon campaign. Yeah, the Dragon campaign is another very, very, very popular idea. You know, if we ever did get like a Legend of Dragoon 2, I think it probably would focus around the Dragon campaign, just because, you know, like the Legend of Dragoon story was wrapped up pretty nicely. I think it would be a lot more interesting to see like a prequel rather than a sequel. And absolutely, as soon as we make this possible, like, you know that people are going to start working on a prequel campaign for Severed Chains. Like, there's no way that's not going to happen. Over 9,000 damage. It sure was. Yes, that is how much damage we are going to do in the Dragon campaign. Damage cap increase for the people who like to see number go up. Yeah, exactly. Severed Chains has some serious stonks. Prequel squad rise up. Yeah, I would love to see a prequel. Oh, another very interesting thing that we are planning to do for the modding API, and actually, this is already technically possible, and Icarus is working on this. So when we go to a map here, this background is all pre-rendered. There's nothing 3D here except for the characters, Dart, and the NPCs. New maps can actually be fully 3D. So we don't need anything pre-rendered, which means we could even have like different camera perspectives and things like that. We can just take stuff to a completely new level, like nothing ever seen before or ever before possible in Legend of Dragoon.
I've returned.
Welcome back, Drew. We've just been talking about removing some of the limitations of Legend of Dragoon.
That seems to be a recurring theme, doesn't it?
Yep. Not sure if it's possible for you guys, but will there be all 7 Dragoons against the final boss, Melbu Frama? That's another thing that we're going to do. We're going to make it so that if the player wants to enable this, they will be able to add any number of characters to their frontline party. So you could play with all characters if you wanted to. Or play as the Winglies who were tasked with sealing away the Divine Dragon. That had to be a fight even with the Dragon block staff itself. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool too. Lloyd would love to write some music for the prequel. You are very welcome to do that, Lloyd. We would love to hear it. Yeah, 3D maps. So that's already possible now, and yeah, Icarus has done some work there. We will be showing that off at some point, relatively soon. It's not ready for the limelight yet, but yeah, we'll be showing that. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Kind of funny how Augusta Wind Dance level 2 does more damage than Red-Eyed Dragon. Yep. Do we plan to make future ports of other games? So I've got a few ideas here. Once I am more or less done with Severed Chains, I currently number 1 on my list is probably going to be Golden Sun. That was and still is one of my all-time favorite RPGs. Like, just way up there, like on the same tier as Legend of Dragoon. I have actually already written a emulation layer and disassembler for the architecture that the Game Boy uses. So once we're done with Severed Chains, it's very likely what I'll be moving on to. Seven versus 1 Melbourne Brava, I like the odds, yeah. Obviously, if we do that, we'll have to consider a way to rebalance things so that it's not, like, obscenely easy.
I also have some things I would like to help with other fandoms and get their games reversed as well. I think the number 1 for me right now is probably Hydro Thunder for a couple different reasons.
Yeah.
Hydro Thunder was a mega popular, in terms of the arcades, boat racing game when it released. Oh, it was about 25 years ago in the arcades now. Just like LOD, it's pretty old. But it was a phenomenal boat racer. It was just race boats on tracks, no other features whatsoever. And I recently rediscovered it and got it working with widescreen, and I've got controller rumble working when it was not supposed to work at all. And I'm hoping we have a few fans left who actually know something about code so we can reverse it. Hopefully it should be easier than LOD because it's just boats and racing on tracks. It's not a whole dense story. It's not a whole convoluted mess. I would also like to do probably Kingdom Under Fire, Nexus, the Jupiter Incident. There's a list I'm growing.
Yeah, all pretty interesting stuff. I do have a few other games on my like potential list. One of those being Mega Man Legends / Mega Man 64. That was another very big game from my childhood, and I tried to play it again recently, but the controls are just so not a modern shooter that it was painful for me to play. I would love to modernize the controls on that. Another one that's pretty high on my list, and this is bear with me because this is very esoteric. Please let me know if anyone in the chat has ever even heard of this game, but it's a Game Boy Color game called Magi Nation, and that is also one of my favorite games of all time. What about Dino Crisis? Is that doable? I mean, I think I've proved with Legend of Dragoon that you know, anything is technically doable if someone sets their mind to it. You know, other projects like Super Mario 64, for example, had like beta builds and stuff leaked with you know, debug symbols and things like that make the process a lot easier. We had nothing for Legend of Dragoon. We had the compiled binary, and that is it. And we just did what we had to do. It was a lot of work, but here we are. 3.5 years later with 4K graphics, 60 frames per second support, widescreen, a modding API, etc., etc. But yeah, so that's my list, and I'm sort of going back and forth between Golden Sun and Mega Man 64 / Legends. I would probably reverse engineer Legends rather than Mega Man 64, just because you know, at this point I am probably one of the people that is most knowledgeable about the PS1 architecture in the world. And if I did Mega Man 64, I would have to write a disassembler for that, a full emulation layer, learn a new architecture, etc., etc. It just there wouldn't be any point to that. I would be able to do it a lot faster for the PS1 version at this point, because I am very, very familiar with that.
So long as the quality is comparable or better on PS1, that's kind of better anyway in terms of a comparison point of view, because PS1, it could have really good graphics, but it crucially did not have smoothness. There was no anti-aliasing, while the N64 graphics looked really smooth, even though the cartridges had smaller data storage.
Yeah, actually the N64 was much, much more powerful, and the game does look and play better on the N64, but that doesn't really matter too much since, you know, obviously we wouldn't have the PS1 limitations. Yeah, fun fact, the PS1 actually is not 3D. The GPU is purely 2D, and you have to do all of the 3D transformations yourself and then send it to the GPU as just a bunch of two-dimensional triangles, and it is not fun.
That fooled all the kids, though, at the time. We had no idea.
Yep. That's part of the reason why you get the wobble and stuff on games. It also uses a very, very primitive sort of perspective projection. And yeah, we use like fully modern here. So yeah, I think that is it for me, and we will switch over to Drew now. Drew,
Yes.
are you ready for this?
Yes. I was just gonna say I'm ready to go. I think as ready as I can be. Like I said, I'm not as ready as I want to be, but we'll do some fun stuff. I'm gonna cover some general fandom stuff. I might mention Severed Chains once or twice here because it still relates, but there's all kinds of other community projects, and I wanted to tell y'all about the core stuff we have, like the site and YouTube and Discord and all that. So we will be switching over momentarily here, and
Yeah,
I
and
will take over.
I will still be here chatting. I'm not going anywhere. We're just going to switch the screen share over to Drew. We are going to have a very brief interruption here while I disconnect and Drew connects, so just bear with us. It should only take a couple of seconds. When this happens, you may or may not have to refresh the stream. It should reconnect, but you might get bumped back a few seconds. So you might want to either just refresh the page or just make sure that you are your YouTube player is like fully live.
Yep. So
So
give us about 1 minute to do the transition.
yep. So Drew, I am cutting mine off.
Refresh manually. It should be back up. Refresh manually if needed. And we'll give people a moment to find us again.
There we go. It's up. It's online now.
Is it? Okay. Very good.
Perfect. There we go. We are back.
There it is. Now I can see it. Hi. So, this is not my
Can everyone still hear me?
Can we hear Monoxide? Can you hear me? I might drop you a little bit, Corey. Oh, I had you on 200%. What? Okay. Yeah. All right, say something again.
Excellent.
All right, I think that should be better. I'm a little low. I'm low. Okay. Will boost me up a little bit. Okay. So there's a lot of different things that I can talk about. I will do my best. I'm half prepared. Like we've been saying, this was all very sudden, and we thought we should do a stream before the momentum may fade, so we can get everyone up to speed on all the cool things we've got going on in the fandom. You just saw a big overview of Severed Chains, past, present, and future. I will be covering as much of the rest as I can with a bunch of summaries. So I'm going to pull up my outline, because my outline is my lifesaver right now.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Drew. I was a little nervous going into this. I felt like the very first time that I streamed. This is big for us.
Yeah, surprise. Okay, so I've got a loose outline. I'm gonna wing it as I go a little bit. If I just completely fall apart, Corey will give me a virtual hug, I hope, and give me some mood boost or whatever. You can do it. A confidence boost.
You'll be fine.
So, oh my gosh, it's already happening. All right. Hi, I'm Drew Universe. I am an accidental fan of Legend of Dragoon. I guess that's technically anybody who got this as a kid randomly, but I very much lucked out when I saw it in a Toys R Us store. It was a demo station there. Normally I was taken to like Target and stuff to do the demo stations, but for some reason there was one in Toys R Us, and it had LOD and some other things, and I saw like a thumbnail of Rose in a Dragoon form or something, and for whatever reason that just drew me in. Next thing I know, the game is in my house. My parents must have got it for me or something, and well, the rest is history. So I've been on this weird journey with the game ever since. I was originally on the GameWinners.com forums a year or so after the game came out. At least one other GameWinners.com person is still in the fandom once in a while. They're on the Discord server. If anyone else is from Game Winners, you might have known me 25 years ago. A little bit. I was, ironically, my username was Ultimate Dragoon Fan, and I mean, it's suitable, but I call it ironic because, like, I didn't know what I was talking about at the time. So, little did I know I would accidentally become, like, what must be the #1 fan, because I've gone on this journey. I did this YouTube campaign in like 2007, and I had hundreds of people responding, even though I didn't know what I was talking about or what I was doing. I was an 18-year-old naive kid at the time. I just wanted us to come together and just celebrate and have fun and figure out what we can do. And then I
Drew, you
re-entered.
accidentally said a pun.
I did? What did I say?
Drew you in.
Yes, it drew me in. Universe. So, my current lengthy involvement started around 2016. I had gotten out of a community management job for a game on Steam, which was like on my most prolific thing I'd ever done, and that was a big trial by fire. I learned a lot about community management thanks to that, and I was kind of just doing LOD stuff, looking up stuff online, whatever, playing the game. And I slowly realized many things over time. Like, for example, different fan sites would have different collections of concept art. So one site would have concept art A, B, and C. Another site would have concept arts C, D, and F. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know if I've seen them all, right? And you might never know, but like I could at least put it all together. It's like, oh, I should just put it all together. So I started wanting to aggregate resources, whether it's a list of concept art or information about the game, and put that all into one location, and that was the start of the resource archive. That became one of our best resources for years to aggregate game knowledge, whether it was common stuff or really rare stuff. And I had at this time joined the subreddit on reddit.com/r/Legend of Dragoon, and I became a moderator there and started curating that a little bit, gave us a new banner and some post flair and all these little things, and made that place better, I believe. And that's been going for 7 years now, I think. Then I made a Discord server. Originally I was avoiding the whole Discord bandwagon, but I decided to do it, and then I decided to make one for LOD because there wasn't one yet. And that is now titanic. There's like a total of 5,000 members there. We got like 400 the other day because of the news article. So
yeah, that it's been a crazy week.
I'll be talking about the Reddit and the Discord a little bit here shortly. And then after that, around 2019, I was doing the 20th anniversary petition. Basically, there were some petitions already to get LOD remade or remastered by random people, but I wanted one that represented all of us a little bit better. The other petitions, they had their heart in the right place, but they were kind of like me when I was younger, not sure really what to do with it. So I made a big petition, I shared it everywhere, I made sure it didn't expire after a certain time so people could still sign after the first, few weeks. It's still signable right now, to get a new LOD game from Sony. And that was the kickoff of the website, legendofdragoon.org. Which I wanted to be our home, basically, our home base for community news about the game, whatever it may be, and also aggregate those resources on the website, start having a list of guides, eventually mods, severed chains, things like that, all became a big part of this home ecosystem I wanted to build for us. It looks like I just got a donation. I don't know how much it is, but thank you very much. I'm gonna try and check that on the side here. I'm a little scared.
From who?
I'm about to check. I'm a little scared because on the one hand, you got a crap ton of money, Corey, and I'm wondering, like, what if I only get $1? But at the same time, if I get anywhere near what you got, I will also be really scared because I might have a heart attack. So we'll see what happens. Someone supported me. It's literally the username who question mark sent a donation. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I guess that is your actual name, who question mark. Thank you so much. Unless it's anonymous or something, I'm not sure if I'm reading this right. Oh my God, Zychronix. It was Zychronix. For some reason,
I figured it was Zychronix.
It only showed me like the text box for it, the detail text, and I was like, well, who's the user that sent me the money? I don't. Thank you so much, Zychronix, for the $75 donation. I'm okay. I'm deep.
I mean, it had to be Zychronix with the username who.
Yeah, I was suspicious, but it could be anybody. So no heart attacks. We still need you. Thank you, Chasms. It's probably warm right now, so I'm gonna open the window a little bit. Oh my god, it's been such a crazy week. I could quote John Oliver from last week tonight. It has been a busy week. So first, we're gonna just tour legendofdragoon.org. I know I've got the game up here. We'll do that. But so what I want to do is do a monitor display, the showcase, and we'll put on the monitor and monitor capture. Okay, so can you all see the website? Looks like it is working. So we've got legendofdragoon.org. This is the front page. It's not the most perfect design, but it's what I was able to do temporarily until we can get our Web 2 design figured out. It's just a summary of the different things that we've got going on. So we've got events coming up on the left-hand side, including today's event. We've got latest news. We need to make some news posts because thanks to Severed Chains and a few other things, I've been so busy I haven't made a news post. Looking for guests.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
We're looking for guest writers, by the way. Guides on the right-hand side. You can also click to see all of them, not just the couple that are listed here. We have a Stardust listing that's really rad. I'm going to show you that in a sec. We've got active projects right now. This is pretty much up to date. Severed Chains right at the top. Image upscaling is on the way. Translation projects, web projects, and other stuff. There's all kinds of stuff here. And then whatever is currently going on in the moment, we got smack dab in the middle. We just got featured on PC Gamer. Well, you already showed that, so I don't think we need to show that again. But we have some serviceable things here. We've got a news feed. You can click to just see all of the most recent news. You can search for specific news. Like if I want to learn about, let's say I don't know where Severed Chains is, even though there's a link to the PC port right up there. I hit enter. Oh, my rough image is broken. I've got to fix that. So there's many results for Severed Chains. Rec Build 2, guide set up for Severed Chains on Steam Deck, the Project Severed Chains page, and this will show both news posts as well as regular pages. So that's pretty helpful. We got some game info stuff, lesser known facts. This is something I wrote a while back that has a lot of information from the Japanese guidebook. You can learn a whole bunch of additional lore that is exclusive to the guidebook. It has some review as well, but this includes a lot of the special stuff.
There is some weird stuff in the guidebook. I will just say that.
Basically, like
there is some deep lore.
Yeah. So let me get my cursor back. Almost every character of any consequence, like not all the named NPCs, but just about any character of consequence has an age and a height. So Garage is age 42, 176 centimeters. Gorgaga is age 40, 162 centimeters. Something about selling his furs and hunting was a way of life for him. And for whatever reason, he decided to cheat with poison. How terrible. Graham's
One
46.
very, very important thing that we learned
Yeah.
is that Kongal is just a little baby.
Yeah. Yeah. When I
Kongal's
Yeah.
like 7-8 feet tall.
Something like
And
that.
apparently, what's the average height for a Giganto?
We can check on the Discord server, but I'm pretty sure the tallest a Giganto can be is 26 feet.
Yeah, so Kongal is just a cute little baby.
Yeah, he's under the minimum threshold, the minimum average. He is smaller than the smallest average Giganto. He is very small. It's ridiculous. Absolutely. I can't imagine seeing... And if you go to the home of Gigantos and you see those statues, they weren't just making statues that were like bigger than them. They were probably making statues that were as tall as them.
Yep.
It's a whole thing. So, we've also got a wiki. I have some recent volunteers helping me advance progress on this. Long story short, there's already a wiki on Neoseeker, which hasn't been touched in forever, and one on Fandom, formerly Wikia. That one is more fleshed out, but it has, number one, many errors. And although we can try and fix those errors, there's less theme customization options because it's a free wiki site. There's ads and everything, and some security issues. So because of things like that, we're doing an in-house wiki. If anyone would like to help with wiki editing, we could really use more volunteers. 5 minutes one time makes a big difference. No need to obligate yourself. But we're working on it as best we can. So for example, I'll go to Dart's page here. We've got some body text already for darts. We've got a clickable read more thing to expand or collapse the story content. We got tables for the additions. We got tables for the stats of the Dragoon stuff, the D magic, the modifiers for magic attack and magic defense and all that. Gallery and trivia will also be there. There's many trivia items for dart. Let's see. If I wanted to go to like Bale, I don't know if this is gonna work right now, but okay. There's an issue displaying the preview. We'll fix it, but we're using something that Wikipedia implemented a long time ago, where you can mouse over a link in an article and it'll give you a preview of the context without having to click into that page to know what it's all about. So we've got these little pop-up preview things that tell you more information. We'll get that fixed.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a server migration, so
Yeah.
some stuff is still a little rough around the edges, but yeah, we'll get it all fixed up.
Let's see. Community projects. We have many different community projects. There
Oh,
are...
sorry to interrupt, Drew,
What's
but when we were showing off the projects, there was one or two that I didn't show off, so I'll just get you to show those off at some point.
Sure, we can do that. I hope we can do
I will
that.
just yeah, one is the Dragoon spirits, and the other we didn't really show Lloyd's stuff specifically, so we should probably show that a little bit.
All right.
I'll send you over a link.
So for now, we've got these lists of projects. We have to update this a little bit, but a lot of these are still relevant. Severed chains, image upscaling, translation stuff, website stuff to help improve the web services. The wiki is part of the website stuff, and also we listed a fan dub. It has not been active recently, but they had created like 7, maybe 8 episodes, at least 6 or 7 episodes, where they did a lot of crazy good voice work. Almost every voice was pretty outstanding to me, and it wasn't just voiceover stuff. They also like ad-libbed a lot of conversation between each other, not just the official script. And they also did some custom sounds and voices for some of the creatures. So, if I'm not mistaken, Eurobolus or maybe Python, one of those bosses had some custom sounds and voices that were really interesting to me. And that kind of stuff could potentially go into Severed Chains. Let's see. I'm not going to cover everything, but we do have a download section. You can get a general save file package of saves. They're useful for emulators, so we need to put a new save file package on there that is for Severed Chains, so you can have an easy way to just hop around and check things out whenever you like. We've got some legacy game mods here for emulators, just for history's sake, and in case a few people still are stuck on emulator for whatever reason. The old 64 item limit by Zamboni, the script revision by Voidwave, some extra old ones from No One that removed part of the censorship in Demon's Gate, and fan kit stuff. So if you want a set of 16 wallpapers, head to legendofdragoon.org, find the downloads page from the nav bar up here, resources, downloads, and get yourself some wallpapers or some Discord profile photos. We'll be expanding on that as well.
Yeah, we'll have to take some very nice high-def screenshots in the new Severed Chains version and put together some packages.
Yeah, definitely. We also have a Twitter, or X, whichever. We're at LOD_.
No, not X.
I know. We still use it. We've got a number of people who still go to us for news there, so we still post there when we can. We posted the big upscaled graphics and 4K 60 preview video. We thank everybody who has engaged with those posts that we're putting out on social media in general. We posted about the live stream. Hey, that's us. It's Streamception.
Huh.
And then we also...
Oh yes. Speaking of people who engage, if you like what we're doing here, please do consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, liking the video, hopping onto our Discord server, following our Twitter account. Every single one of those things helps us out more than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And very, very much appreciated. I stream every Wednesday doing dev streams where we work on some code, we do some shenanigans, and both Drew and I are always in the Discord server if you ever want to chat with us.
Yeah, we have a playlist for the dev streams, and we'll also be having some new playlists as we go. I'll use that opportunity to segue into our YouTube vision in general.
Good plan.
So far, we've mostly done live streams. We don't have that many pre-recorded videos yet, but that is starting to change. At first, I did a little preview of an LOD mod in Tekken 7. That was pretty rad. The first reverse engineering LOD cutscene demo with no sound. That was a
Oh
trip.
god.
And then we did it again.
I almost want you to play that.
Yeah, we can take a quick look.
So this
come on.
bottom left, the even older one with the corrupted textures and stuff. Oh god.
So this is pretty much how it first looked.
This is old. This is basically when we first got the intro cutscene rendering.
Mm-hmm. It was a whole thing.
Whew. Just compare this to what you saw today.
Actually, this is really good because before what you're seeing now, before that, Rose was just a blob and it was a slideshow.
Yeah. The very first build that rendered anything at all ran at like 2 frames per second.
Yeah.
And models were just like blobs that scooted across the screen. Oh right, the text box is barely rendered.
Yeah. The text boxes don't have a border. Dart looks like he's wearing like a red face mask, like the Princess Bride outfit, but red.
Yeah.
Wesley. And
the animated background stuff is just basically pixels.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
We've come a long way. When was this video posted?
God. It was late August 2022.
God, so that was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's when we first did the live stream, I'm pretty sure.
That was only a year and a half ago.
These horses have seen better days.
Yeah, we've come this far since then.
Oh my god, and to think now we've got that tree is invisible, but the leaves are not, and Dart jumps over an invisible tree.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh god.
I think the tree is just facing the entire wrong direction.
It could be. Oh my god, that is so pixelated and everything. But yeah, we did the first live stream series, and so every week a little bit more progress would be happening, and we'd have random new things to show. Like one of the live streams, we suddenly had sound effects, and it kept leveling up from there.
Yeah. That was a surprise stream. I didn't even tell you that.
Yeah. And then at some point, Corey started doing a bunch of dev streams on Wednesdays. We also had a second playthrough series, which was on the JP demo stats, which was completely nutso. This playthrough was crazy. All the combat balance was different. This is me fighting Wendigo, and all the stats were so different. And sometimes it'd be really easy, sometimes it'd be mega hard. Well, fighting Lloyd is a pain point for me, because the first time I fought Lloyd on our YouTube channel here, our group YouTube channel, I was getting all cocky at the end, and I was being all I was quoting the Matrix, saying "dodge this" from Trinity, and Lloyd literally dodged and then insta-killed one of my characters because I was in Dragoon mode and he had like 1 hit left to die, but he got me.
Get wrecked, noob.
It was a whole entire thing. So we've mostly done live streams in the past. So now we're gonna have some more pre-recorded videos. We'll still be doing live streams. We got the dev streams on Wednesdays. I am planning let's get rid of that. I'm planning a special live stream series again. I try to ration out my playthroughs so I don't burn out, and I've got all this fandom stuff that I do. But so my next playthrough will be widescreen, basically, with the 4K 60 FPS. I don't know if I'll be able to buy a 4K monitor. I am very poor, but I will at least do it in 1080p and it'll look pretty great. We'll do widescreen, we'll do improved resolution, we'll feature some little mods here and there, I'm sure. But it's just...
Yeah, everybody donate so Drew can buy a monitor.
Fun to my 4K monitor, because I totally don't need money for other things. Like food. But yeah, so that's going to be a really good time, and we're just going to keep pumping out quality videos as best we can, keep leveling up our skills. So for example, we have sort of a cadence we're developing. We have these preview videos, as you can see, high def graphics preview, Legend of Dragoon 4K 60 FPS preview. So the idea there is that we put out videos previewing features coming up in the next major build of Severed Chains. So we'll do preview, 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 and then at some point we'll have a release announcement. So I think, yeah, we had a Rec Build 2 overview, so recommended build 2 hadn't come out, so we announced it. And we had a news article, and we made a video covering what all had been included in that update. So that is one part of our videos. We're also going to do a bunch of videos talking about lore and game mechanics and combat stuff, things you never knew before. We'll probably do some short videos, the YouTube Shorts thing, kind of like the TikTok or Vine copy, whatever. We'll have a whole...
Speaking of learning new things, during the reverse engineering process of Severed Chains, we actually learned some stuff that had never ever been confirmed before. Such as the fact that this was long suspected. We thought that enemies of the opposite element would target their opposite element. So, like a water enemy would be more likely to target dart, and we were actually able to finally confirm that that is the case. If an enemy is the opposite element of one of your characters, they have a 2/3 better chance of targeting that character over any of the others.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to show one more thing, and then we will move on to some gameplay, I believe.
Yeah, do it.
All right, so I have Discord up over here. This is our big Discord server. Got a nice animated banner image of Dart getting all fired up to match the current theme of, all this news and our fandom getting a lot of extra attention. We've got a lot of different channels and stuff. We've got server info and rules to read first. Once you've read the rules, then you'll be able to participate in the server. The server info right here, our permalink. So instead of making your own invite links, please use our permalink, which is this RQW, or our vanity URL, discord.gg/Legend of Dragoon. If Corey will type !Discord, I think, or you can just type it out.
I suppose I could.
There's all these different introductions from all these different fans who have shared their stories for a long number of years. There are, let's say, in introductions, there are 735 people who have posted an introduction. That is pretty cool. Just saying hello. I found it through the YouTube, where I came here from this or that. I enjoyed LOD as a kid. Stories about family and things. And it's really amazing to see just how LOD intersected with all of our lives in such different ways.
Yeah, everybody go join the server and check out Pony Bros memes.
Yeah, we've got a general chat where we talk about all kinds of things Legend of Dragoon and occasionally go off topic. We've got an off topic channel. Oh, when I greet people, I sometimes say, "Greets, welcome to the madness." There's a reason for that. We've got off topic. We've got various Dragoon topics. You can talk about tabletop RPG stuff, fan music, fan art share. Lloyd Sorrow's been sharing a lot of music stuff he's been working on, which some of that will be coming to Severed Chains at some point. It's all interconnected, you see. We've got fan art thread. Ooh, a new fan art post of Dart Feld. That looks pretty cool. Oh, not bad.
Nice.
I like it. Somebody recently posted air combat or air attack, and the thing about minor mobs is they almost never get fan art, but now they're getting some. So, I know that in LOD or anything you like, you usually see concept art or fan art or whatever of the main characters, and that totally makes sense. But at the same time, I think it really brings out a lot if you work on like drawing stuff that doesn't get a lot of attention. So this looks really cool.
Yeah, that's a very cool one.
I started the thread off with like my first ever drawing tablet. Drawing was the Myconito. So I need to get back into my drawing tablet, but that was the first one I made. I made this Myconito based on the in-game model, and it's just so cute. I'm really bad at shading,
nice.
so like we've got a lore channel to talk about lore stuff. Someone was asking about the Archangel. So there's a lot of different stuff here. We got community projects, all of our community projects I told you about before, and more. We've got preservation, the website stuff. We've got a music mix we're working on. That's something I wanted to talk about. We're bringing our first music mix of fan music, a compilation of like 8 or 10 tracks with various themes, or no theme at all sometimes, who knows. In this case, it's going to be a feelings mix, loosely based on Valentine's Day. So in like 2 or 3 days, we're going to try and release that before Valentine's Day and give people something, just a nice little 15-minute, maybe 20-minute mix to listen to. You could even put it on loop and it'll probably sound fine. So I'm pretty passionate about music mixes, so you're definitely going to see more of those as we go. I'm hoping that later this year we can have a Halloween mix, because there have been some great spooky remixes of certain tracks that I can't wait for y'all to hear. So there's a whole world there. We've actually documented over 300 fan songs, so that's pretty wild. Anywho, I think I'm going to stop there for now. There's all kinds of stuff in the Discord you can opt into. There's modding. You can look at the different modding threads for the mods that are going to be coming out.
We've got the Severed Chains channel.
We got the Severed Chains channel. Yes, we do. It used to be the modding channel, and then we converted it finally. That was overdue. And we got some voice channels and all this stuff. So I'm going to close that out, back to the game, and turn off my monitor capture. Okay, I should probably play the game a little bit, shouldn't I? And then I can finally read chat a little more, because I've been so focused on presenting. If I've missed any important questions, please feel free to tag Legend of Dragoon in the chat again.
We'll be keeping an eye on it. It's all good.
We'll do our best to answer the questions. There are still a few other things I will be showcasing. So the gameplay is not the end. I'm going to talk a little bit about some server partners that we have and a few other things maybe. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, so why don't we start playing the game? I was not able to get the upscale images working, but I think I'm just going to go through anyway, and we'll just imagine that they're upscaled.
Well, what was the issue that you were having?
I couldn't get them to present, is all.
Did you put the assets folder in the Severed Chains directory?
I'm pretty sure I did. We can take a look real quick if you want.
Yeah, show me the folder real quick.
So the assets folder...
We'll just take 1 second here, chat.
We've got folder 1 and folder 3.
I cannot see on the stream.
Oh, is it not? Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's just set for Severed Chains.
There we go. All right. So I got folder 1 and folder 3 under assets.
Do you...
We've got a bunch of
and you have the mod in your mods folder?
Yeah, I mean I did that to enable it in the first place.
And you could see it on your new game screen?
It was in, yeah, when I did new game it was checked, definitely. So like
okay.
If I make a new,
where did you get that mod from?
It's from like Zamboni or Zychronics when we did the last thing.
Was it from the video?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you start a new campaign, save your game, and then copy the campaign config over?
I'm very sure that I did. So to do the process elimination, I've got it enabled.
Send me your campaign config real quick.
Okay.
I just want to take a look at it.
I will do that. Let me
just, yeah, drop the
see Severed Chains get
right now if you hit start game as well, you should see the upscale in the intro cutscene.
Okay, so let's see if it actually shows up. That shows up. Okay, so that's definitely working.
Yep.
So
just speed through this real quick.
Also, I have a question really quick. When I have the game in front, okay, something weird is going on. Something weird is happening to my stream. Why is that? Oh, it's because I'm doing the monitor capture. Okay, that explains it. So right now, as I'm saying these words right now, to me, OBS is showing that the game is frozen, but my face is not frozen. Does anyone else see the game frozen as I'm speaking right now?
Yeah, it's frozen.
It's frozen. Okay, there's something going on with the capture. I don't know if it's because I'm. Should I do a game capture instead of a window capture? It's frozen. Okay, so I need to change the capture. That's more important. What kind of capture is this? I mean, I guess I can just do monitor capture, and that should be fine. So maybe I will do it that way and put it under my camera. And then when I go over, oh, that didn't work. Oh, that was really weird. I don't know what just happened, but it seems
Do 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 do.
okay. So when I focus and
Sorry.
unfocus the window, it briefly shows all my other crap. That should be fine. Okay, no problem. That's my old stuff that I had to hide. Pardon me. Like I said, wasn't fully ready. Doing our best. All right, so let's get back to so the campaign file. I probably just didn't copy it correctly, so I can send you again.
Yeah, it's definitely working now. You should just be able to rush through this and save your game and then copy the campaign configuration over.
Okay.
Yeah, Lloyd, so you may notice how terrible her breathing animation is in this scene. Her entire torso and clothing just slides forward and backward. Um, so for the video that we recorded, we actually had another one of the Severed Chains developers, Doom Metal, create an entirely new animation for her breathing because it looks so bad in high definition.
Yeah, this is awful. The normal breathing animation is like a bup up bup up. It's just like an on off switch kind of a thing. Uh,
Yeah, you can see it again there.
it's
Yeah, so we actually had Doom Metal create an entirely new animation for I mean the reason was because the PS1 was so low resolution and you're viewing it on a CRT, small movement does not come across well at all. So, anything that they did had to be exaggerated.
okay. I'm gonna copy that file again, and can I do it while the client's running?
Yes.
Okay.
So copy from the new campaign into the one that you want to use the upskill mod on.
So it was new campaign 3 and campaign config.dconf. Copy.
Yep.
And I can just paste that into the live stream playthrough. Place the file. And let's see if it works.
Yeah, so fun fact here. I did an optimization pass recently, and Zycronix, who has a bit of a beast computer, is now running Severed Chains at 4,000 frames per second. That was up from 1,300 before. Huh.
I thought Evergreen Forest was included, but I'm gonna hit the mountain. Oh, it's
Actually, you know what? I was in here earlier, and Evergreen Forest was not upscaled, so I
oh,
sent you what I had.
okay.
So that makes sense.
So where can I go?
I think I only sent you Giraffe Mountain.
Oh, okay. Then we are gonna load a different save from the same campaign. So it was probably working the whole time, and I'm just panicking for no reason. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Love that. Love that. Okay.
panicking because I told you the wrong thing.
Love that for me. Got to do some more Schitt's Creek quotes in here. So live stream playthrough. This is my old playthrough. I'm just doing some demo stuff right now. I'm not doing a proper campaign. And we'll scroll down to a mountain save. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, you should give it a shot on Severed Chains, Andrew.
This is not upscaled either.
Um,
What happened?
I don't know. It's possible that I have just sent you complete nonsense.
Corey, you're sabotaging my half of the stream. Okay.
I'm seeing those upscales in the assets that I have.
Yeah, I definitely have something in there. Like if I go into the assets folder.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I've got it
You know
in
what?
here.
Just open some of the assets. Just open up some of the upscaled backgrounds and show them.
Yeah.
That's fine. Look at the
Throw,
quality of this.
I'm
Look at how good this looks.
I'm throwing out the script. We're not playing anything. We're just gonna do a show and tell. So
It's
this
fine. It's a live stream, Drew. It doesn't
this
matter.
this is gorgeous. Look at this. This is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, seriously.
This was, I think, Zychronix's, because he is doing chapter 3 and 4 upscales.
Yep, this is from
This
Zychronix.
is nuts.
So these backgrounds here are the 4K versions. Um, they are planning on also doing lower res versions of the upscales as well. So we'll probably have like a 2K version and then a 1080p version. Because I mean, if you're only playing the game in 1080p, 4K is not really going to buy you anything. You'll just have a much larger download. Their conservative estimate for the total size, I think, was somewhere between like 20 and 25 gigs for the 4K upscale. So, yeah,
This looks
if
great.
you're not actually using 4K, then, just having smaller ones is definitely better too.
Look at how much detail they got in there. Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Like this is all like, okay, remember, this was a pre-baked image that had like pre-baked lighting and things. So this pre-baked like volcanic looking effect or whatever. Actually, this right here looks like a face. I'm saying that's a face. That is a face with like a
I
gem
got
on the
I gotta be
forehead.
honest with you. I'm not really seeing it.
You never like saw Jesus in your toast? Come on. This stuff happens. It's very
I think you mean
serious.
Soa.
Well, Soa had followers. One of them might have. I don't know who it is. But yeah, these are just gorgeous. There's so much worth showing off. That's the same one because they you see this multiple times in the Mountain of Mortal Dragon, but it's technically different submaps, I guess. So I'm just accidentally
Yeah, a bunch of
opening.
maps that look the exact same, but they're
Yeah,
actually different maps.
yeah. This keeps happening. Jesus. All right, we're going to the other folder. Folder 1. Folder 1. What's in here?
That should be the intro.
Yeah, this is really good. I love this one. These leaves right here are the best. This is great. These look so realistic. And yeah, like if you zoom in enough, you could find little imperfections because it is AI upscaling. There's only so much we can do, but it's generally 1,000 times better.
Yeah, TFC and Zychronix are doing magic with this.
If you haven't seen the 4K 60 preview yet, the preview video we put out the other day, this rock right here is the one that Dart sits on, and it's got a little like water overlay, so his butt is wet. It's canon now. It's official. His butt is wet, and he just doesn't mind.
Yeah.
He's a warrior.
Yeah. J-Man, we don't have the originals on hand right now, but we are absolutely going to be doing a side-by-side comparison video of RB2 Severed Chains versus the new version with 4K 60 and the upscales.
Now this may be not upscaled, but I'm gonna go through it anyway, and we're gonna fight something because I want to play the game a little bit. Still a little fast.
Is there a way to make the environments appear to move? That is a good question. Technically, yes. and that is done, as you can see in the background of this map here, for example. Um, we're seeing like the animated smoke and fire and plumes of dust and whatnot. Um, as for making parts of the background move that aren't supposed to, that is possible, but it would be quite a bit of work in, Photoshop or whatever. Um, we talked a little bit earlier when I was on stream about making brand new maps. Modders, when they make new maps, will have the ability to do full 3D, so no pre-rendered backgrounds at all. And that, of course, includes any kinds of animations. Any models that they want. We'll be able to do like flexible camera angles and things like that too. So that will be a very, very cool thing to do. Icarus is actually working on that kind of thing right now. Also, God, Hashel's eyes look horrifying.
Yeah, and Lloyd might need some help with that breathing animation too.
Yeah,
He,
at least it's not quite as bad as Rose's was.
yeah,
Rose here looks like she's ready to go.
yeah, she is so ready. How convenient for us. Accidentally skipped the FMV, classic. That's a callback to the live streams, the old playthroughs. So this should be regular widescreen. Nothing is stretched here.
He's 70, leave Hashel alone. He looks like the cow from Barnyard. Hashel got some windows to the abyss going on.
So we got a nice little effect here. Got the Dragon Block staff activating. Now, we mentioned the effects are not final. Battle has not been worked on as much yet. That's going to take a separate update, like Corey said before. But we do have the widescreen active, and we'll still be able to show off some decent graphics for you.
Yeah, so the weird textures that you're seeing now, that will definitely be fixed by the next release. There's an issue with partially translucent textures here. So you'll see stuff that's supposed to be like a glow will instead have like a black background. Yeah, we'll be fixing that relatively soon. You can see it right there. What we won't be doing this update is bringing combat to 60 frames per second. It will remain at 20 for now, and recommended build 5 will be targeted at updating combat to 60.
I got an addition, yeah!
Nice.
I'm good at the game.
So chat, here's something that we found. We did some testing with a few different people, and we found that the size of the addition reticle actually dramatically affects how easy it is to do additions. We found that making the reticle smaller makes it a lot more difficult. Everybody that tried it reported having more trouble with them. And making it bigger made it a lot easier. So I think that's going to be another configuration option that we add.
Oh no, 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 Albert! Oh no, Albert! And Rose is almost down. I'm great at this game. Let's see here. We'll do Angel's Prayer. I actually, I was going for a cinematic fight, but I can't really do Dragoon stuff here to show off, so I might have to hop around, go back to Rigol and show the tidal wave that I'm so excited about. I did a screenshot of that in widescreen to show, like, you know, one thing LOD got right was the immersion in the cinema and the style, so, like, widescreen is really going to help some of those attacks look and feel amazing now that you can have a wider screen to see more of the attack happening or the ability. So we're going to need a Healing Rain. And as you can see here, even though the combat is not 60 FPS yet, idle animations already look pretty smooth. So it's kind of like they're already 60 FPS in a fake kind of a way. So that helps.
Yeah, so for this build, I have actually rewritten like basically all of the math code that Legend of Dragoon uses, like across the board. Um, we made it all much higher resolution, so the animations can be a lot smoother. And I also, after doing that, rewrote the animation interpolation code, which made it even smoother still. So even though we're only running at 20 frames per second here, it's like night and day between the retail game and separate.
Let's say I want to use a Dark Mist on the cannon. See how high I get. No techniques either.
Believe in you.
Hey, I got stage 4. No techniques.
Nice.
You just mash that button as fast as you possibly can. You will barely get stage 4. I wanted to do the cannon, see how that looks.
Yeah, Lloyd. So that is a little bit tricky because the turn order is not actually like set. It doesn't calculate it until it's actually like time to pick the next turn. So if we were to build like a turn queue, we would have to actually like change the order that the RNG is rolled, and that would it would probably not make too much of a difference, but it would definitely change how the RNG works. It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky.
I realize I want him to use the cannon, so I'll leave it on him and I'll just start going for the body. Having this in native res in widescreen is just such a treat. Ah. Rose missing is not such a treat. Wonder how much it is to buy the game's rights.
What a great question.
Basically not for sale. Not for sale is the answer. Sony has apparently not done anything with the IP, but the idea there is also that they've kind of protected it in a way. They've made sure it didn't go to some random developer who may not have been ready, or whatever the case may be. It's, in my opinion, still best to just encourage and inspire them and convince them that LOD is a good financial risk to finally continue in some way. At this point, I believe a prequel is the only option, because Severed Chains is going to have remake and remaster tier mods that make it look amazing for free. Who knows if the models would be as good as what Sony does? It's just, you know, it's hard to tell. But an individual can be very passionate, as proven with Monoxide or myself. So, I believe, therefore, that if they did a remake at this stage, it'd be kind of bad because it would be compared to Severed Chains, and Severed Chains would probably have more features, if nothing else. So I think they just kind of have to do a prequel at this point, and the Dragon campaign is the ripest content we've got that we would love to dive into and explore more of. A time where dragons were not almost extinct, so you could have all kinds of cool dragon designs, and having them, you know, fight and sling attacks at each other with the Virage and everything, and having all of the non-Dragoon humans also in the war doing their best to fight. Like, there's a whole big story there, and it's about liberating yourself from oppression, fighting the fate you've been put into, which is LOD's theme already as it is. How did I miss? Oh. It's the ball again. You would love to play as the first Dragoons. Yeah, me too. Get me some Ciuvel and Damia, Belzac and all of them, and extra Dragoons as well. The lore talks about additional Dragoons, not just the main 7, being a part of the Dragon campaign, so I would like to see Minito Dragoons, maybe some more hybrid species than just Damia. There's a lot of stuff we can do with it.
TVK says, "Are you open to handing over all of your SC work to Sony if they asked you for it?"
I mean, you should probably say yes if they give you the right price.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a price.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be on PS5, you would probably have to agree to learn their architecture and write for PS5 as well. But you would already have the PC thing ready to go and just plop it on Steam for them. There's an addition. Physical attack, that'll be fine. And half dead. I recently switched from a wired Xbox 360 controller to a wireless one, which is a little easier for me to game with. One less cord. Lots of leg sweeps. Albert is hurting from all those hits with the divine ball.
I wonder how much damage that little spear is actually doing.
Probably feels like acupuncture.
Probably.
I gotta practice my additions. It's been a little while. Ooh. At this point, I am pretty fried. I was already staying like tuned in for most of the first part of the stream that Corey was doing, and now, like, I'm very hungry, but I don't know what we're doing about food, so I guess I'll just find out at some point. But I'm gonna hang in there for a little while.
Yeah, I think we've been doing pretty good so far.
Yeah. Still got 70 people watching. We really appreciate y'all sticking around this long.
Yeah. It's been a pretty fun stream. It is nice to kind of hand over the reins after a little while, because streaming does get pretty tiring.
Yeah. I don't know how people do these, like, 6-hour, 7-hour things. Like, if it's their job, like, they rely on the subscriptions to, you know, to pay their bills and everything, I totally understand it. But I would definitely need breaks and stuff. It would be quite a commitment.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm normally a pretty reserved person, and suddenly I am apparently a YouTuber.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened one day.
Yep.
And it's just like I was talking about that to my wife the other night when we were driving home from my parents' place. I was just like, I have had a really weird week.
Yeah. Things are changing a little bit.
Yeah. Like, I'm a YouTuber. Like, I got mentioned in PC Gamer. We both got mentioned in PC Gamer. Like, what the hell is going on?
Alright, we got the kill. Well, Lloyd's gonna get the kill. He's gonna steal it. That rat bastard. Oh, we have sound. What is that?
My brother's here. He said, I can confirm.
Corey.
What?
The sound.
Oh, I've got it muted. What happened?
What am I hearing?
What's going on?
What is this?
Is that a Zychronic said, is that a duck in the background?
What the fuck is going on? I just... Is this a song? This is a new genre of music. We're making a remix out of this.
You know that video where someone presses down on a whole crate of rubber ducks?
Yeah. This is so weird. I don't know. This is what I needed. I needed this. This is the pick me up. This is the energy infusion I'm looking for. God, what is this? Yeah. Oh, jeez. What the heck
Amazing.
was that? Babbity.
Amazing. Oh, I got a couple of questions to answer in the chat. Still curious how Kongal was rebalanced in Severed Chains. So we haven't made any gameplay changes at all. I mentioned earlier about Dragoon modifier, hard mode rebalancing all of the characters. So, Con, I will link in the chat a link to the Dragoon modifier changes if you want to read that.
Okay. Now
Um,
we're gonna fight Rigol, Corey.
all right. TVK says, all right, if you got invited to two dinner parties at the same time and could only go to one, which one would you go to? A Gigantos barbecue or a Wingley's buffet? That is Gigantos barbecue, hands down.
Wingley Buffet.
No.
No?
If there is one group of people who knows how to barbecue some meat,
Look,
it's the Gigantos.
I know where the party would go. Dart would go to the Giganto barbecue so he can get the thickest piece of meat he can get his hands on.
Yeah.
He loves that. You mentioned it in Bale.
I have personally been doing a lot of meat cooking lately. I, over the past week and a half, just cured like 17 pounds of bacon, and I have been eating the shit out of that. So
You're channeling your
definitely,
inner Dart.
definitely the barbecue for me. Definitely the barbecue for me.
Okay. You channel your inner Dart. But it's better that we both go to a different one so we can both represent Severed Chains at two parties at once.
All right, you got me there.
Until the Wingley is all about all the new features they'll have to fight the humans, and then do the same thing for the Gigantos.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna get through this cutscene.
What do you think Wingley cuisine would look like?
I
I mean, Giganto cuisine is obvious.
I
Like,
mean,
we all know what that is.
they probably incorporate fish. I'm pretty sure there's a body of water next to one of the forests.
Yeah.
And the other one in Ulara probably just incorporates giant sandworms. Which, we need a Graboid mod. A Graboid from Chummers. Just replace the sandworm with a Graboid, please. I need to see it.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, Rosanek in the chat is my brother, so what he's saying about the text is completely true.
Yeah.
I'll just be driving through town and be like, hey, I just dropped off some meat on your doorstep. Go get it.
Yep. Alright, so I'm gonna go find Linus. I could just summon the battle, but I want to do it like at the right level kind of a thing. How far back? Phantom ship.
Hey, Drew, you want to take 2 seconds and show off the remaining 2 projects?
Sure, yeah, we can take a break.
Yeah, so the first one that I linked to you in the in Discord chat there, I sent you a direct message.
Okay.
So we have a user who's in the chat right now, Tactical Fatty. He is making Dragoon spirits. These are very, very cool. You got to see this picture. Drew's gonna bring it up here in a sec.
Yeah. Okay.
Check this out.
It's pretty detailed. So this is a
Yeah,
giant
yeah,
gem.
and the box is very, very cool. So these are made out of some kind of resin. Wow, I just noticed like it almost looks like there's like veins or like vessels inside of it, which I think is very fitting for a Dragoon spirit.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're making like full sets of these. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tactical, but are you planning on selling these?
They're really, really, really good looking. Um, when they first were creating the idea in Discord with us, they asked the other members of the community, "Hey, what size do you think they should be for a Dragoon Spirit? Is it like a golf ball, a little bigger than a golf ball, a lot bigger than a golf ball?" And I went for like a little bigger than a golf ball. He had like sizes 1, 2, and 3, so I said 2. And I think he went for size 3, and was just like, I want him to be enormous. It was a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah. So he's gonna be. Was that yes directed to me? Are you selling these?
Yeah, it is actually resin that they're made out of.
Yeah, yeah. So you'll actually be able to buy these.
Very cool.
They also sent me this link. This is a link tree that gives you some various accounts that they have if you are interested in following this. There'll be these will be we'll have links at some point to buy them on the Discord server as well. We do allow people to advertise Legend of Dragoon related goods like this in our server in the appropriate channels. So if you're interested in these, keep an eye out for them. I know I am.
I can actually show what someone else has done. If I can get into my jewelry collection that I'm slowly building up. It's not very much yet, but I have one from Zikara, who did this great necklace and bracelet combo. I'm going to show you the necklace for now.
Yeah, Zikara also makes some various crafts and stuff, or has made at least.
I don't have a way to do my cam on the fly in full screen, but if you look in the corner, you'll see. Got this awesome pendant with the Dragoon eye, and all these beads on it as well. They look
Very cool.
way better in person. This like deep blacks and purples, and they're a little see-through, and this like kind of gold as well. All these different kinds of beads on it. It's really
Looks
amazing.
sparkly.
It looks good on me. I used to wear these to the live streams a lot, and I'll probably go back to wearing jewelry for that. So there's some pretty cool fan stuff out there, for sure. I'm the Dark Dragoon. I mean, well, I kind of want to be all of them. It's hard to pick one. It might be Thunder just because lightning is my favorite element when it comes to playing games like RPGs. A lot of people grew up loving fire mages. Fire was the big thing. I never picked that up. It never hit me. It never hit my heart. So I ended up being obsessed with lightning damage. So when I play Path of Exile and things like that, I'm always doing lightning builds and stuff like that. Chain lightning, all this cool stuff. Anyway, do you have another thing you wanted to show?
I wanted to you know a bit more about this than I do, but you should briefly talk about the card game.
I can do that since I have to go to the Discord anyway for something. Alright, so we've got Cosmic Cards as a concept being made by Denny. That's Sind Gaming in the YouTube chat. Hello. So there was wanted to do they set up a PDF with some initial stuff on it, doing some extra little overlay stuff that goes on top of the in-game imagery. So this is what a card might look like, for example. A couple different design options there. And they're just building out the concept, but theoretically it might make its way into Severed Chains at some point as a card game inside of an RPG, because well, one implementation could be that at the Lohan Hero Arena we've got all those different stands with all the different mini games. Potentially this could be one of them. We're planning to support additional mini games. Maybe we can get actual pig racing from those piggies running around up top there. Maybe if you know, there's multiple user mods for mini games. There's only so many physical stands in the backgrounds. So maybe we'll have an NPC you talk to with a master list of mini games, and you can select them by name or something. And some stuff like this card game could show up there if you download it and enable it. So that could be a thing in the future. They're looking at some kind of a 3x3 grid, mentioning triple triad and stuff, and having Dart in different background colors here. So some of the promotional images, we can actually post those a little more liberally because they're not official game assets, they're outside of the game discs, and use those promo images for these concepts. And then having the A, the 6, the 4, and the 7. I'm not sure what those mean. I don't remember. I was mostly helping Denny with the dimensions, but they're working on some stuff there, and it could be a really interesting card game. I do remember this part. I remember that they were going to do a thing where you could earn cards, extra cards, by playing the game, the regular LOD. So you could do a regular playthrough, and then let's say you go out of your way to fight an optional boss like Polter Armor. And then if you defeat Polter Armor, you would get a Polter Armor card. So you can get bonuses that way, for example. We also looked at possibilities like, let's say cards are a % chance drop, but we wouldn't want to do like a scummy kind of a drop rate where it's like 1% and you have to farm it for like 8 hours just to get the card for the minigame. So what we thought of instead was, for example, you could get area cards, generic cards. So let's say you're fighting some Helena wardens in a Helena prison, and you can get some generic Sandora cards or Helena cards or something. And you could use those generic cards, 5 or 10 of them, to build a Sandora Elite or a Senior Warden, something like that. So that way you could, you'll sometimes get specific character cards, sometimes you'll get generic cards, and you can use that to fill out the rest of your collection that way without having to get the specific one. So there's some different applications there where a mod can tie into the main game that way, for example. So Sin-Gaming/Denny, if you have any links you want to share, you can do that. The PDF is almost done, you say. That's pretty cool. So the cosmiccards.pdf, if you come to the Discord server, you can check out this and other mods in our modding channel there. You see Cosmic Cards is the latest one. Already 236 messages. That one's really popping off. Was that it, Corey?
Yep, those two were the last two that I hadn't talked about.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick pivot over to partnered servers. So we got a couple of partners. They're a couple years old now. We've had them for a while. The first partner we ever did was Ayuden Chronicle. Some of you probably know about Ayuden. Corey and I showed up in Ixion's stream yesterday morning, was it? I don't even remember.
Yep.
And he was talking about doing a whole Suikoden series playthrough to kind of get himself ready for Ayuden, which is a spiritual successor, if I'm not mistaken. And it involves at least 1 or 2 people from the original dev team, so that's pretty interesting. They've got a bunch of people in their Discord. It's so huge, 26,000 members. We also have Threads of Fate. This one is pretty cool. It's another RPG with not as much popularity as the main ones like Final Fantasy. I know the person that runs the community, either wholly or in part, Shiny Tentacruel, who is also in the LOD Discord server. I think I helped them a while back with getting some stuff set up for Threads of Fate, which is also known as Do Prism. They're getting close to a member milestone, and they could probably use a few extra members so they can enable extra features on their Discord server. So if you like Threads of Fate or Do Prism, or you're just curious, hey, what is this RPG? I've never heard of it. You can check it out at the following link. So I'm actually going to post all these links just because we're going to do that. So here's Ayuden, and then another link. You're a 3D environment artist. Is there any way you can help out, or a place we need help? I mean, probably. If you show us some of the work you've done, that'll probably help give a little more context. So come to the Discord, post a couple of portfolio pieces or where we can see something you've done before. There's probably something you can do to help make improve visuals in Severed Chains.
Yeah, we have some people working on Severed Chains who are interested in doing some fully 3D maps. So it would be very interesting to see what you've got in your portfolio to see if you might be interested in collaborating on that.
Okay. This is the link for Threads of Fate Discord server. And then we have one more, JRPG Chronicles. I believe we're also linked with them on Reddit, where we traded listings there. Unique community of like-minded fans where you can talk about all things JRPG. So it's just a JRPG community in general, interested in role-playing games made in Japan specifically. They've got a website and a Discord, jrpgc.com and discord.gg/jrpc, I believe. So do JRPG Chronicles. Alright, so I think that is all I'm going to show of that, so we can go back to the game, I believe, and do some game stuff, because I want to see if another audio glitch happens, in particular.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
A few of you in the chat may know what I'm talking about, because I posted the video recently. We might upload it to the channel as well. It would need a little more polish, but it was pretty fun. I did a quick and dirty compilation of what might happen here. We'll see. Lloyd, I love you. Stop caring about the world. I like how we got the concave. We actually bothered to get the concave surround for this. That's a very important thing in StarCraft 2. Gotta get that concave so you have more of your units attacking than the enemy. Lloyd couldn't handle the tension anymore. He admitted his nefarious deeds, and then he ran away. Okay. We're gonna fight Ragol.
Yeah, Samsai, we actually were in the fan art channel, and your the gulp that you posted made it onto the stream.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. I got so confused when you said, Lloyd, I love you. I'm sorry, Lloyd. I should have said, Lloyd without an E, I love you. So,
I mean, it's true.
Lloyd with an E wouldn't get confused. I mean, I love your work. I just don't know you well enough personally to say that for sure. You know, like, we should probably slow down the relationship there. Okay, so we're gonna do some battling.
The Severed Train has no brakes.
Yep. Ah, Dart has no additions either. Oh, here comes the tidal wave. Look at this in widescreen. Look at this. It's huge. That is some damage.
It is some damage. You are correct.
Why did I miss?
You gotta get good.
I don't have to be the best on the planet, but like I'm the #1 fan of the game overall. I should be able to do an addition. Let's see.
You gotta get good.
Can I manage a basic attack from Shauna? Do I have the skills? Yes, I can actually pull off a basic attack. Bam. Oh, here we go, here we go. didn't happen. Okay. So I'm gonna probably play that video manually. In a previous build of Severed Chains, every time Regol did that like laser attack or whatever, it would play some different kind of rock music, just some kind of rocky guitar sounding thing. It was really, really weird. I don't understand. There's a whole thing. Alright, full heal, everything's fine. Now let's do an actual, like, you know what? We can actually Dragoon here, so let's do that. The effects are not final, as we said, but some of it still looks pretty good.
Yeah, we still got the most amount of work to do on battle. We've been focusing on the world map and submaps first. And then once we have a very strong foundation there, which we do now, we can start working on the battle stuff.
We'll start off with a D attack on Linus. $324, could be worse. Rose. I just did a full heal, so I can't really justify any of these magics. Oh my god! Oh my god!
What happened?
So, I think I just did a complete perfect addition without the revolution meter. It wasn't showing.
You don't have auto D attacks enabled?
I'll try it with Rose again next time. If it doesn't complete, then we'll know it's manual. What? Did I really do like a custom, like a... I did a blind D attack, I think. I think I did do it.
Amazing.
Let's see what Star Children looks like. See how far that one's come. I feel like there was some updates to Star Children recently. Yeah, it's definitely gotten an update at some point. It's a little better. Okay, Rose, let's see. It was a real D attack. It was It was a real.
I'll
daddy.
give you this. That's pretty impressive.
That was okay. Context. I did blind regular editions to record some GIFs to show off. It took like 20 tries of Hexhammer to do Hexhammer blind. That's how bad it was for me. D attacks are a little simpler, but they're tricky as it is. They're already tricky with the visual guide, the revolution thingy. I just did it on accident, and I was like, I don't know if it's automatic, but I'm gonna press the button anyway, and I got it. That was so cool.
That was pretty impressive. I'll give you that.
Yeah, you know, after having the worst luck ever with fighting Polter Armor and crashing 3 times in a row, and the whole dodge this with Lloyd, and the last Kraken, everything was wrong with the last Kraken. I got some good luck. That's pretty awesome. Man, it was not luck, it was skill. What am I talking about? We'll do a final burst. Yeah, the D attack is really tricky because, like, technically it's a linear increase in speed. It's a little faster each time, so technically it should be easy. But the last... darts in half. The last revolution is a little faster than you expect. You gotta hit it at, like, the 10 o'clock mark or something like that.
You can actually see in this that Dart's facial features, like his eyes and everything, are changing at different stages of the attack.
Yeah, his
and
eyes
you just cannot see that on the PS1 at all.
His eyes are closed, then they open while his body is doing like the burn effect and all that.
Yeah, Final Burst is a pretty cinematic attack.
You know, we should do Gates of Heaven just because I wanna show that off. I mean, it'll look pretty good.
We'll see.
Okay, this one I am dropping the volume a little bit because it's too loud.
Yeah, for some reason Gates of Heaven is way louder than anything else.
It's so loud. Oh my god. It's good sound effects, but it's too loud.
Yeah.
It's piercing into your ears, like, holy moly. Anyway, we'll bring that back up. And I'll just keep doing D attacks with throws. Nope, not that time. I was like, can I do it twice in my head? No, it's not happening.
You tried. An admirable effort.
Can we modify the sound? Yeah, we could apply a volume leveling fix, supposedly, right, Corey?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like there are certain rare things that we will patch, like bug fixes or a really bad volume.
Oh, absolutely. We've patched a lot of retail bugs, like a lot. One of the most egregious ones is that the encounter rate in the entire game is just broken.
Yeah.
When you're walking or when you're running in 2 of the 4 directions, you're actually getting 1/4 of the number of encounters you're supposed to be getting. So if you remember walking through the Barrens, and when you're going one way, you get very few encounters, and when you're going the other way, you get a lot of encounters. That is why.
Yep.
The devs actually intended for there to be way more encounters in the entire game than you actually get. And in some places, I mean, the encounter rate's already pretty high. So long story short, Severed Chains has 4 different options for the encounter rate. You can choose retail, which is the broken, buggy rate that is in the retail game. You can choose intended, which is what the devs actually meant for it to be if it wasn't bugged. You can choose average, which is one that I added. And basically what that does is it gives you the same average number of encounters as you would get if you were playing the regular retail version, but the rate is averaged out in all directions. And then you can just turn off random encounters entirely if you want to.
So because there's a bug in battle, the previous environment does not reload when you come out of special. So it looks really, really dark in this undersea cavern here. It's a dark cavern.
Yeah. D says, I don't think I've ever knowingly encountered bugs aside from the movement one. Well, how about this? You know, in the scene where Lavitz is shish kebabbed, for
Really?
for a considerable amount of that cutscene, Dart just has no arms.
Yeah, his lower arm is gone.
It's just gone. He has no arms.
It's right there in the cutscene, but you're so focused on like the general center of it and Dart and Lavitz like torsos that you don't notice there's a missing limb.
2 missing limbs.
Yeah. Isn't there a duplicate of something in there, like Lavitz's torso
Yes,
in the back?
if you look closely at the background, you can also see that there is an extra copy of Lavitz's torso laying on the ground. Also, fun fact, in that cutscene, every single time it cuts to Lloyd, he's in a different place. At one point, he is actually standing inside of a jar. Yeah, D, as far as I can tell, no one has ever noticed that. I did a lot of searching on Google, and I was unable to find any references to that at all. TFZ noticed because he was going frame by frame through that cutscene while he was working on some bugs there. And that's the only reason that we ever noticed it. There's also an instance where when you're in one of the towers in the Twin Castles, when you're looking for the princess, Dart actually just randomly face plants. We haven't fixed that one yet, but we will.
I'm dying.
Yeah, let me find a playthrough here, and I will send Drew a link to the timestamp where you can see it.
To which thing?
Dart with no arms.
Okay. I'm probably gonna lose 2 characters now because I chose to revive before. Oh, this is bad. I need someone to be able to heal before I get attacked again. Oh my goodness. Yes, we have it. Okay. We have a healing breeze, 4 healing breezes. That'll do. Yeah, the toe kick is pretty rad, Mistral. Every time I see the name Mistral, the only other reference I have for it is .hack. So I don't know if you took that name because of .hack or if it's a real life name or both. But Mistral is a pretty cool name, I think. I was a big fan of the 4-volume .hack series on PS2. Let's see.
There we go, Drew. I have sent you a timestamped link.
Sure. I'm not going to do too much more battle. After this, I'm going to show some merchandise and promo stuff, probably, and then end the stream shortly after that, so we can show the video as well, the clip.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. We'll do 1 fog for Shauna, and we're going to knock this stuff out, because I really wanted to see if the audio would trip up again so I could get some of that new genre of music. That's what I'm here for. Hardcore LOD players check old versions of Severed Chains for interesting bugs and just make the most of it.
Yeah.
In this case, it's the latest build, but still, we had some really fun times in older releases. Why am I so bad with Dart? What's the matter with me? You know, I've got Shauna here. Do I have any burnouts I can just chuck? Yeah, I got 3 burnouts, so I'll do that with Shauna from now on.
By the way, any new viewers here, if you like what we're doing, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It helps us out a lot, and you'll be able to see a lot more of what we've got going on here now.
Yeah.
I do dev streams every Wednesday. We post new videos of the new features in Severed Chains. So yeah, if you want to keep informed on what's going on, give us drop a subscription, like the video.
Did you tease weapon modding today?
No, I didn't mention that at all.
I really had to focus to prove I didn't suck with Dart, okay? I can do Crush Dance. I might show...
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Wigful Art. We'll hopefully see you around.
I'm going to show at least 1 image of a weapon mod, because I have that one on hand today. This is going to hurt. It's a custom weapon for Maru based on what we believe is an official illustration of the equipment. So in the Taiwanese Mandarin guidebook, there are illustrations of equipment, so that's weapons and armor and accessories, and consumable items. All have graphics. It's pretty wild. I know at least some of them are real because they're also seen in the Japanese guidebook and the Prima guide. They didn't get those images from nowhere. So like the Dragon Buster looks the same, I know that's correct and all that. But they have all these other designs, and it feels like they were going for a whole different style before it was canned, apparently, and canceled. But we see them, and although they're really tiny, they're like 1 centimeter big on a book. Actually, I have the book. We managed to get some... we can still kind of tell what they look like, so we've remade a couple of them in Blender, some concepts. I'm going to show you one of those today. I think
yeah, and so on top of these concept art images, Doom Metal has actually been working on some fairly custom weapons too.
Hmm.
which I think is also very, very cool.
I'm unfortunately not going to be ready to show those today, but we will be doing new videos to show that off. We did a poll recently and asked what video would you look forward to the most out of a choice of three. One was the debug. There's an actual. We have a debugger in Severed Chains, but LOD has a debug menu itself, and we did some investigating to try and piece together what those actions did. And there was widescreen support that got the second most votes, and then the number one voted item was a weapon modding teaser. So one of our next videos after this music mix we're doing in a few days, one of the next videos after that will be weapon modding teaser, and I think that'll really help whet some appetites.
Yeah, so this weapon modding includes things like being able to see a different weapon when you equip it in game.
Yeah, you'll be able to assign a specific model to a specific piece of gear. In LOD, by default, the combat animations, the sword for Dart is just part of his body animation. It's not a separate object. So we have to do some finagling to change how that works, but it should be okay. Actually, Corey, are you going to make it so that we have to do it the same way at first, or are you going to let the weapon be detached?
It's a little tricky because of how they do the models. We're going to have to figure out something there. We do have the ability to turn off rendering for certain parts of the model, so it would probably be easiest to say, turn off the weapon and then say this piece is attach it to that. We can do hierarchical coordinate systems in Severed Chains. So basically, what that means is you can attach a model to another thing. A very easy to visualize example of that would be a piggybacking character. So if Dart was to give Shauna a piggyback, her model would be attached to Dart's coordinate system so that her position would be relative to his. So I think that would probably be the easiest way for us to do something like that, and I think it would be interesting to experiment with that a little bit sometime soon.
I'm going to see if there's any special sounds in this cutscene. You can just see and appreciate the textures more. Oh my. It's trying to play the sad music. It's really low, the music.
Yeah, again, this is a work in progress build for anyone who's just tuning in.
Oh my.
Battle is the battle code is something that we have not finished updating yet to the new OpenGL rendering engine. So you can still see how much better the game looks in
Yeah.
full 1080p.
You can see Lena's closing her eyes as she dies.
Yeah, but we haven't finished updating this code yet.
Okay, so we didn't get funky music. I was hoping for that new genre feel. I have got to go back and just have that on repeat for a while. Alright, so I cheated a little bit there just to speed this battle along. But we did legitimately defeat the Divine Dragon.
Chasm's Dragons said all the budget went into the music scores for the game.
Mm-hmm.
That was sarcasm. However, I can tell you that all of the budget actually went into the rendering code
Yeah.
because roughly, I'm not exaggerating here, roughly 95% of the game engine is rendering code. And of that rendering code, around probably 80% is just for the battle effects.
Okay.
Maru is looking very silly here.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna shut the game down here shortly and show off some merch and promo items and the weapon modding teaser. Was there anything else, Corey, that I needed to do?
I sent you a link to that video
Oh
where
yes.
in retail Dart has no arms.
Okay.
Released in 1999, actually.
All right. We got a link to a video.
Okay, so here is a very good example of one of the many retail issues. Um, in this part of the scene, Dart just has no arms.
He's got the forearm, but he doesn't have the lower arm.
Drew, your head's blocking it.
Oh, am I blocking?
Yep.
Oh, the, spoiler alert: the missing lower arm of Dart is actually just my head. So, let me turn off my camera. Actually, let me just turn that whole thing. Yep. Okay. So that should be his lower arm right there, and it's just not there. It's missing.
Yeah, you can play this a little bit and actually see it moving.
Yeah.
He just has a stump.
Now that said, there should be more disabled characters in video games. So, I mean, that wasn't their intent, but yay, I guess.
Yeah,
We.
so basically what they do in a lot of these cutscenes is they turn off parts of the model and replace them with higher quality pieces. So you'll see that a lot for hands, for example. In the lower quality versions, there's no individual fingers, but like Albert's arms right here do actually have fingers.
Mhm.
So they turned off Dart's arm at one point to swap in a higher quality version that had fingers,
Yep.
and then they just forgot to turn his arm back on.
It's more visible here as well.
Yeah. And this is just a random video I found on YouTube. Like this is 100% retail. This is how it is on the
Yeah.
PS1.
I don't know if we can step that. It's, yep, it's still missing there as well.
Yep.
Yep, Rooney. So I think.
See you, Cosmic. I hope to see you next time.
Yeah, here he's got the low res arm right here. So his near his shoulder, that part of his arm is there, and then he's also got the lower arm, which is the armored piece that his whole arm is covered down there.
Yeah, so you'll see Dart and Lavitz holding hands for a minute,
Yep.
and they have individual fingers. Yeah, right here. So this is when they swap in the high quality model. Actually, it's just after this part.
This part.
It's when, yeah,
Right
yeah,
here, right here, right here. So it's gonna turn off and then switch to the individual fingers one, which is great.
yeah. So we had the Lego hands. Now he's got fingers.
Yep.
And
And
then when they go to switch back to the regular one,
yep.
they forgot to turn his arm back on.
Mistral, I am not modding my head back into the game. No, no, we don't. Not into someone's arm. You know, if people want to mod themselves as people in the game, like that, that's pretty cool. But yeah, my head does not belong on Dart's arm. It belongs on its own body, unless I'm some cosmic horror out of the moon that never sets.
I'm gonna get Doom to do that now for you
No,
as a birthday present.
there are other. So, by the way, my birthday is in a couple days. This is extra crazy week for me because like I'm turning 35 on Valentine's Day,
Wow,
and
so old.
yeah, I'm so old.
I
My youth quickly escapes me. So to think that I'm still doing LOD stuff at this age is there's the potential idea, in my head that could say this is embarrassing, but at the same time, like, this is one of my passions and I am just good with it. So, um, turned 35 on Valentine's Day, and now I have to, process all my feelings about the PC gamer mention for our fandom, and that inextricably is tied to the work I've done. So that is definitely an emotional thing that I'm going to be processing for a while. And that's assuming no other news happens. Like, little news outlets will piggyback off of each other, and also big news outlets may piggyback off of each other. So if we get a mention on like IGN or something someday, I'm probably gonna just collapse like mush all over again. Hopefully a few
How would
days.
how would you feel if I told you that we were getting more views on that video now than we were before?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was slowing down earlier today. It slowed down around
Oh, it's picked
21,000.
back up.
Oh shit. Well, at least now I have a job, I guess, because I can maybe use some of the ad money to help me like justify more time on LOD and stuff. But yeah, so early happy birthday to me. I'm gonna show you all a few more things before we go. You got a little more time, Corey?
I'm good to go.
Maybe like 10 minutes or something. So I'm just gonna show some things. First, since I'm still on this, I'm gonna go do this, and we're gonna go here, and we're gonna look for. I got lots of. Ooh, what is that? Like a lasagna pizza? Oh my gosh, things I didn't plan to do today. Lasagna pizza. Okay, so here we go. Oh, someone did Mike Wazowski as Conkle. I forgot about this. Oh
Uh,
no. Oh god, is that
it's perfect. We gotta mod that into the game.
oh Jesus Christ. Anyway, Pretty Hammer. So I'm gonna show you something. This is my good condition copy, so I don't want to mess it up too much. But we got a bunch of illustrations, don't we? Yep. Okay. Got a bunch of illustrations in the back of the Taiwanese guidebook, and I have to. Oh, my cam is off, so I'll turn my cam back on. Hi. Okay. So in the Taiwanese Mandarin book, there's a lot of pages in the back with illustrations of all the different equipment. And they're really small, as you can see. So I had to get a better scanner to get them in even decent quality. So there's
Very small.
they're 1 centimeter by like 1.5 centimeters or less. It could be less. And there's one for the Pretty Hammer. You can barely see it there. Actually, you know what? We don't need this picture. We are gonna go to my scans that are on the website. So we go to legendreading.org/secret page.
Inflatable hammer complete with squeaks.
So these are the weapons. Broadsword looks pretty standard. Heat blade, fairy sword, all this stuff. Doesn't get much bigger. All right, so but some of these designs are really interesting, like the demon stiletto. The shadow cutter looks like a whip. The gladius, someone did a 3D model of that. Dancing dagger, dragon buster. We know that one's definitely official. All these really intricately designed ones for Haschel. This is a basic iron knuckle, but then this beast fang looks like otherworldly or something. The diamond claw is really snazzy. Brass knuckle, again, very snazzy. Thunder fist is some kind of elemental, like wingly looking weapon. And the destroyer mace is out of this world. And then we got the weapons from Maru. This is the Pretty Hammer. It's pink. It's got sparkle, like heart effects or something. It's got a yellow ribbon. This is a hell of a design, right? And then Doom Metal made a 3D model of it and approximated to the best of his ability. And Maru is just standing there holding this hammer. So in the future, when we have weapon modding as standard, you'll be able to have custom weapon models like this, whether they're just fan-made ideas or based on these illustrations from the Taiwanese Mandarin guidebook. It is pretty rad. So, I mean, I hopefully there's Ragul's Rock Ballad. I'm going to play this for y'all as well. This was just completely by accident. Some heavy bass.
This is pretty good, to be honest with you.
Da-da. My guitar around here somewhere. And that is Ragul's Rock Ballad. So every time he used that attack, it would sound a little different, and I recorded a video capturing like 10 different variations of it and just spliced them all together real quick. So that's Ragul's rock music. There's some funny audio glitches. I want to go back to older builds and purposely seek out like audio treasures. Oh yeah, unused animation of Lavitz crawling. All kinds of...
Yeah, we found a ton of cut animations.
Yep. The texture's corrupted, but if you ignore that part, there's a lot of stuff happening in the limestone cave where Eurobolus shows up, and he's like getting knocked down and falling and getting back up, and he's drawing his spear and he's aiming his spear. A couple of these are used elsewhere, but a lot of this is stuff that I had never seen before.
Yeah.
He's like jumping up with his spear. It's kind of weird. So it makes me think there was maybe like a sub map, aka just this location background battle scene, kind of like the one you see in Helena, where he's doing a sub map battle, not a regular battle engine battle, with those Helena wardens doing the fast spear thing and impaling them, and then they flash before they disappear, kind of a thing. So maybe there was something like that going on in Limestone Cave. Maybe there was some stealth content, for all we know. Some stealthy sections to dodge the guardian of the cave. Okay, so I think with that, I'm gonna turn off that capture, and I'm gonna switch to just me, if I can figure out. CamBG, was it? Yeah. Okay. So we'll do that. And I'm going to make that bigger because we embiggen things. Monitor off. And main cam unlock. Yeah. Okay, so this is not the most normal. I feel like I'm Andros, the giant head from Star Fox. Pardon me for a second while I figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna do it sloppy. It's fine. I wanted to show off some merchandise items. First, we have some phone cards from Japan. I'm going to have to turn off my green screen, I think, too. Filters. Oh, there is just a crop going on there. Main cam. Filters. Chroma key. All right. Yeah, we're just going to turn off all the special stuff for now. So, phone cards. This is one design. There's a larger version of this image on the internet. It's just like a poster. It's used in some promotional media. And then this one is Dart and Shauna in front of Kadessa. It's a foil-looking background. This is Kadessa in the sky. Dart and Shauna were never there. But they put that together. And phone cards, for those who don't know, phone cards are kind of interesting because once upon a time, and to some degree a little bit today, there was not unlimited minutes. Not just on cell phones, but also on landlines. So you could go to the store and buy one of these cards, and you would get like 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, whatever the case may be, of time to talk to people. It's like a pay-as-you-go kind of a thing instead of unlimited. So there were whole sets of these made for many different games. Most of them don't have game stuff on them. They're just basic phone cards. But there were many made for games as well. And LD had at least 2 designs. It was some pretty rad stuff that they bothered to design these as phone cards. So yeah, that's a little bit of history. I've got this sucker, which I don't even remember where I got it. It's some kind of promotional Sony computer entertainment software. This is like Gran Turismo 2, I'm guessing. And CBR is Crash Bandicoot Racing. There's a Crash Bandicoot up there. And so you can see there's some information about Gran Turismo 2. I'm assuming that's a giant list of cars. Track outline. There's a big thing for Crash Bandicoot here as well. And that's all in Japanese, so I'm not going to translate it in this case, but we need to get this translated for the website, definitely. Here's Legend of Dragoon. So they've got some basic character data, some mystery stuff. Who is the mystery person? There's just some question marks over there. And
I wonder who.
tiny pieces of lore. They got Ark the Lad and all these different things. So that's an interesting piece that I've got. There is the Taiwanese Mandarin guidebook. This is one of the best conditioned ones that remain. And it's got some semi-large images of the dragons that some of them are different and we've never seen before. So those are pretty cool and rare to have. Those need to be added to our art section on the website. They also have cutouts of various bosses, so you can see Claire, Indora, all the story bosses on the moon, Winged Executioners, the Mazo from Faust. I have some of these cutouts already as Discord stickers, for example. And it's got a big walkthrough, just like the JP guidebook or any guidebook would have. And let's see. You know what, Corey? I'm suspicious. Some of these submap images, some of these screenshots look better than retail.
It's pretty interesting.
I could be just imagining, but they look a little better than retail, maybe better saturated. I mean, you can do that in the print. You can more saturate the image, of course, when you print it. But I'm a little suspicious of that. That looks a little too good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure that they didn't create the images in the indexed color format that they use on the PS1.
Yeah.
They're 3D models, right? The full scenes were 3D modeled before they basically took a screenshot of them.
Then they were baked.
So, they very well may have higher quality versions.
Some of the characters from the game, the minor mobs that you fight. So that's a pretty important treasure. Also got those special illustrations. Now, this is a little interesting because we know that Legend of Dragoon was released in Japan, and we know that it was released in the United States and just other North American areas, Canada, high monoxide, and also in Europe. Now, it's semi-common that those are like the official releases, and they'll still release it in other areas with like a cloned release, so it's not a separate release really. It's just sold in a new region, but it's one of the other versions that pre-exists already. This happened. So Legend of Dragoon in Japan is normally SCPS 10119 to 10122. And that's the Japanese release. You got this design for the disc and all that. And usually different regions will have at least somewhat different box art or at least be the language difference, whatever the case may be. This is also Legend of Dragoon Japanese release, looking anyway, but it's got a different number on the case, SCPS 45461. Oh, I'm dropping a little bit of frames for the first time. Maybe dropping signal.
Yeah, looks like it.
The bitrate went down, but I dropped no frames. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so it looks very similar. If you compare the rear case, they're very slightly different. That yellow box is what's different. And so it turns out the 45461 was a Hong Kong release, at least as best as I can tell. So the game is exactly the same. It's still the Japanese release. And the name of the disc, when you burn a disc, you can name it. The name of the disc is the same. So it looks like they just reprinted the JP release as is. And one of the only differences is that there is a... let's see. Yep. There's a little tiny fold-out that I believe is in some variant of Taiwanese or Chinese, I'm not sure offhand, I've forgotten. And also in English. So it's a quick guide to give you the basics. And I don't know how many people in the Hong Kong area know Japanese. I don't know how similar or different it is when it comes to the details of the language, but they were only given the basics in their native language. So that is a fun fact. The disc case is the same as well. And it does actually say on the disc 45461 under the disc 1 spot there. So they were printed with custom disc art, technically. So that is a extra version of the game. We also have a movie disc. This is a promotional piece. Has a couple of the game's FMV screenshots on the back. It's just a semi-common movie trailer. Not a literal movie trailer, but like a trailer of the FMVs. So it's not that valuable, but not a lot of fans know about this, so that's kind of interesting.
Apologies if you can hear a commotion in the background right now. One of my cats, Freya, is aggressively chasing her own tail.
I cannot hear it at all.
All right, good.
Yeah. All right.
She's just going for it.
This is a foldable poster. This is a common shot of Fernie at night. This render is available online, but this was printed in really high resolution. Like the detail, I wish we had an image of this. I believe it is from... I'm not sure where it's from, but it's a semi-rare poster, so I keep that safe as well. We've got an electronic art and entertainment catalog from SIGGRAPH. Why is Legend of Dragoon in there? We're going to find out, right? So, pull that out. Figure out which page LOD is on, because I've forgotten. So SIGGRAPH is Computer Graphics Annual Conference Series 1999. It's, God, how do I explain? Just computer animation and technology on display. So there's some weird stuff in there, like this guitar character here. There's something kind of spooky over there. Can't really see that one. And bunch of sheep. And they'll have information about like who was the director or the producer, who collaborated, what software was used to make the technology, contact information for the companies that made this stuff. Some of it is really unknown, and some of it is stuff relating to big companies that are really well known. So if I could find something that's well known, was well known. A lot of these you kind of have to be in the scene to know, I guess. But oh, there's Legend of Dragoon.
Funny about that.
Here we are. So, Legend of Dragoon. Something you know. The Legend of Dragoon. And that's a shot of the divine tree with the moon around it. Or the moon in it, I should say. And all the fruit around the moon. I'm going to read the excerpt to you. Let's read a story. A legend of a majestic tree. That's the origin of all lives. This sequence, art of the PlayStation video game The Legend of Dragoon, shows how it germinated and grew once upon a time on some planet. Someone sealed its magical power and hid it, so nobody knows where it is or what it is today, but it's a key for the future of all. And this is the kicker. Sometimes you have to go to the farthest reaches of the universe, or the internet, to find additional information about a game that is canonical, but not in the game itself. The height of the divine tree is 2,500 meters tall. That's not in the Japanese guidebook. That's not in the game. That's not in the Taiwanese Mandarin guidebook. It's not in the Prima guide. It's nowhere except this obscure book that, if you're in the scene of SIGGRAPH and similar like software demonstrations and conventions, you'll have this book. But any Legend of Dragoon fan is not going to know that's in there. Almost nobody who is a fan of LOD knows about SIGGRAPH, which is one of the first, if not the first, conventions where LOD was demonstrated. And if an article I found once is correct, they won an award for it. Sony won an award for the Divine Tree animation, the full motion video. It's pretty crazy. Growing speed is the speed of sound or faster. This could be possible only in computers. The vines automatically grow according to simple rules. The large tree was nurtured by giving it artistic parameters instead of water. Modeling and animation in Houdini, rendering in RenderMan, editing and compositing with Flame, painting in Photoshop. And contact information that has been invalid for a very long time. SIGGRAPH. I have done many rabbit holes on SIGGRAPH and not found much, but you should always check. Whatever you're passionate about, check and see if there's some obscure extra facts in some random book somewhere.
You're getting quite a bit of lag, Drew.
Oh, am I? Is the audio lagging too, or just the video?
I have the audio muted because I'm on a Discord call with you, but so I'm not sure.
Okay.
But the video is lagging a fair bit.
Okay. It should stabilize momentarily. Come on. Okay, so I'm almost done anyway. So I don't know if y'all can hear me okay or not, but I will at least show this picture of one of the article pages from CG. I'm reinitializing it. Looks like it's okay now. I think. Okay, so I think I fixed it by just restarting the stream. All right, so sorry about that. I didn't even. It was doing fine for so long, and then it just decided to wig out, I guess. So we've been here a long time. Thank you everyone who came to the stream today to check out all the showcase stuff we did for Severed Chains and the fandom in general. There's a lot more we want to tell you, but we only have so much time today, and we're tired, and we're delirious from the PC gamer news platforming and everything. We will continue to send out new content, whether it's dev streams, one-off live streams, pre-recorded videos. Of course, our website legendofdragoon.org. We'll give you some links in the chat one more time tonight, and then that's it for us. Thank you sincerely to all of my Ko-fi supporters. Thank you so much to everyone who is tuned in on YouTube and is checking our website and our Discord and everything to just have a bunch of resources at your disposal to play Severed Chains, to have a place to call home for LOD, and so on. While I get the links, Corey, do you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, I would just like to give a huge, huge thank you to Kevin for that ridiculous $225 donation. And also thank you to Joker for the $60 donation, Kiam V for the $50 donation, Mike Fox for the $40 donation, Skull Garden for the $25 donation, Colossal Falafel for the $20 donation, Wes for the $10 donation, and S. Chevrier and Dax for the $5 donations. Of course, a very special thanks to all of my monthly supporters, my founders, The Packle, J-Man 001, Deningrad, Sparta, Shepherd, Fido, Sonlin, Ninshi, and my mercenaries, Doom Metal, Platinum Sarge, Milk Lizard, Chocolate Anonymous, Vince Easter, Balder, Ambi Forrester, Pooney, Ash Q, and MG. Thank you, everyone.
You've all helped make this even better than it could be otherwise. So, that's really all I've got. My brain is fried. Please excuse that. We will see you again soon. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you, Mr. F, for the super chat.
Oh, thank you,
Big thank you.
Mistral. Appreciate it.
Yeah, everyone's support makes this all possible, and it's amazing.
All right, until next time, everyone. Take care.